Chapter 174. Since you admit that you don't like me, why don't you let me complain in front of Dad? Are you the one who is in the right? You. Huang Yu was furious. She really wanted to slap Mu Qiqi. But they were in the ward. It was not a place where she could do whatever she wanted. I know that the Shin family doesn't like me. And Aunt Rong treats me like a stain. But what can I do? I am Dad's daughter after all. Mu Tongxue imitated Mu Qiqi's attitude and tone. She wanted to maximize the conflict between Mu Qiqi and the Shin family. At the same time, Grandpa Shin opened the door of the ward. He was stunned when he saw Mu Tongxue. Didn't you say that you can't leave the lab? I just came to see Dad. I will go back later. Mu Tongxue answered calmly. Dad, you came at the right time. Look at her. She is so arrogant in front of the elders. She doesn't act like a junior at all. How can we like her? Huang Yu seized the opportunity to complain to Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin sat beside Shin Jianchuan. He pressed his hands on his knees and said nothing. He looked at his son when no one noticed. Mu Tongxue stayed silent for a few seconds. She thought that even Grandpa Shin did not recognize her. So she completely let loose in the ward. Anyway, she was Mu Qiqi now. She could do whatever she wanted. Because of this, she was not used to seeing Huang Yu. Taking advantage of Huang Yu's words, she suddenly stepped forward and pushed Huang Yu. Huang Yu staggered and lost her balance. She fell to the ground just like that, causing everyone to be stunned. Mu Qiqi. Second elder grabbed Mu Tongshue's clothes. His eyes were almost spitting fire. How could you push your second aunt? She treated me badly. Why can't I teach her a lesson? Look, this is your fox's tail. You finally showed it. Second elder sneered. Mu Qiqi, who was so confident and disdained everything in the Shin family, can't wait to slap her own face now? Second brother, let go, old Master Shin said calmly to second brother of the Shin family. That. Big brother, it doesn't matter if you're happy or unhappy today. I have to teach them a lesson. At that moment, Mu Tongxue took the opportunity to bite the second elder of the Shin family, causing him to groan in pain. What can you do to me? I can't stay in this house any longer. Seeing that her husband was also injured, Huang Yu shouted, Dad, from now on, the Shin family will either have her or I. Grandpa Shin glanced at Huang Yu and snorted. Qiqi will not treat her elders like this. You've seen it with your own eyes, yet you're still trying to excuse her? Mu Tongxue raised her chin in front of Huang Yu. Obviously, she knew that Grandpa Shin would help her no matter what. But Rong Junhan cleared her throat. She signaled Mu Tongxue not to get carried away. Otherwise, Grandpa Shin might recognize her. Fortunately, Grandpa Shin did not seem to be suspicious. She's just a kid. Seeing that Grandpa Shin was determined to protect her, Huang Yu was disappointed. I, Huang Yu, have a son and a daughter. I've never seen you being so biased. Fine. If that's the case, I don't want to stay in this house anymore. I'll leave now. Then Huang Yu turned around angrily. She opened the door of the ward and was about to leave. But she was stunned the moment she opened the door. Because there was another Mu Qiqi at the door. Huang Yu looked at Mu Qiqi at the door. Then she looked at the Mu Qiqi in the ward. It was almost the same. Even the tattoo and the mole were the same. This, second aunt, what's wrong? Mu Qiqi asked Huang Yu. Huang Yu snorted coldly. Suddenly she could not understand. What are you playing at? A substitute game? Then Huang Yu opened the door completely. Everyone was shocked. Because there were two Mu Qiqis at the same time. This? Rong Junhan's expression changed. Did she not arrange for someone to watch over her in the hospital? If the real Mu Qiqi appeared, they would stop her. Why was Mu Qiqi here? On the other hand, Mu Tongxue looked calm. But in fact her palms were sweating. Mu Qiqi smiled and walked to Mu Tongxue. She looked at her from head to toe. Then she said, Mu Tongxue, I didn't expect you to be so real when you pretend to be me. Mu Tongxue smiled too. Am I pretending to be you or are you pretending to be me? Mu Qiqi found it interesting after hearing that. Mu Tongshue's acting skills were really impressive, and her improvisational skills were not just for show. Which one of you is Mu Qiqi? The one who was here before or the one who came in later? The second elder of the Shin family couldn't help but ask. He really couldn't tell them apart based on their appearances. They looked so alike. I'm Qiqi's second uncle. Mu Tongxue took the initiative. Then she pointed at Mu Qiqi and said to Grandpa Shin, Grandpa, although I don't know why Mu Tongxue pretended to be me, I am indeed Qiqi. Grandpa Shin smiled at Mu Tongxue. If you say that you are Mu Qiqi, then show us the evidence. Even if they look identical, only one of them is the real Mu Qiqi. Memory is not something that can be faked, is it? Mu Tongxue smiled. Mu Tongshue's face darkened. A few days ago there was a drama in the Shin family. Tell us what happened. Because only Mu Qiqi was in the Shin family that day. Mu Tongxue was not there. So, it must be Mu Qiqi if she could tell them what happened that day. But, in fact, Rong Junhan had told Mu Tongxue everything that happened that day. So, it was not difficult for her to answer the question. Everyone looked at Mu Qiqi when they saw that she answered without missing a word. She has already told us what happened at the Shin family that day and proved her identity. So you must be Mu Tongxue. Mu Tongxue nodded. Mu Qiqi looked at second uncle and smiled. What if someone told her? How is that possible? If that's the case, you should show us the evidence to prove that you are Mu Qiqi. My body is full of evidence. It's easy to test our identities. I just want to give Mu Tongxue a chance to confess. You are a fake, aren't you? Huang Yu snorted coldly. You two sisters are not easy to deal with. Although Mu Qiqi is really annoying, what dirty things are you trying to do by pretending to be her? I told you that I am Qiqi, said Mu Qiqi firmly. How can you prove it? Chapter 175. Of course I know the meaning of the tattoo. But how do I know that you are not trying to trick me? Mu Tongxue kept her composure. Suddenly, Xin Jianchuan interrupted their conversation. He pointed at Mu Tongxue and said, I asked her about the tattoo. She said it was because it looks nice. But you asked me about it too, didn't you? Mu Qiqi continued Xin Jianchuan's words. Xin Jianchuan nodded. And you said it's because you admire someone. That's right. I did not get the tattoo because it looks nice. It's because it's the name of my savior. He saved me from the hands of the wicked and gave me a new home. Who is it? Second aunt was anxious. Of course I know. It's the name of my savior. Mu Tongxue, I did not expect you to investigate me so thoroughly. Grandpa, this person is Assistant Jing. Because everyone thought that Mu Qiqi was taken care of by Jing Yun, the tattoo on her ear should be Jing Yun's too. Mu Tongxue wanted to seize the opportunity. But she heard Mu Qiqi's laughter. Jing Yun? Mu Tongxue, stop pretending. I will call Jing Yun now and ask for his English name. Mu Tongxue was stunned. Was she wrong? Mu Qiqi took out her phone and called Jing Yun. She explained to everyone, it's not Jing Yun's English name. He has another one. Actually, everyone knows him. He is the 8th young master of the Sheng family, the crown prince of Huangyao, Xing Xiao. Everyone was stunned when they heard Xing Xiao's name, including Grandpa Xin and Xin Jianchuan. Because Mu Qiqi did not tell anyone about it. Soon Jing Yun's call was connected. Mu Qiqi did not say anything. She asked Jing Yun, Assistant Jing, please tell me the crown prince's English name. Why are you asking again? You. Don't you have a tattoo on your ear? After Jing Yun said that, everyone understood. Mu Qiqi who came in later was the real Mu Qiqi. And the one who caused trouble in the ward was Mu Tongxue. After getting the answer, Mu Qiqi hung up and gestured at Mu Tongxue with her chin. I'm sure that if you take out your phone, there's no contact from Aunt Zipei, Jing Yun or the crown prince, right? Mu Tongxue instinctively grabbed her phone. I didn't bring it. Really? With that, Mu Qiqi stepped forward and took out Bai Sei's phone from her pocket. What is this? Mu Tongxue was speechless. She was completely stunned. As I said, it's actually very easy to tell us apart. Mu Qiqi held the phone and sneered at Mu Tongxue. I'm just curious. You pretended to be me while I was in the lab. You even got a tattoo and a mole. What are you trying to do in the Shin family? Do you want to replace me? Or are you trying to achieve some kind of goal? When Mu Qiqi asked that, she looked at Rong Junhan. Did you go missing for so long just to train yourself to become me? However, you seem to be lacking in maturity. So, it was Mu Tongxue who had a conflict with me just now. Huang Yu finally understood. Second aunt, aren't you curious about the reason why she did that? What reason could she have? She just wants to be rich and powerful. Huang Yu replied. You're wrong. If she really wants those things, why didn't she please you? Why did she try to cause a conflict between us? Moreover, she imitated me and did all the preparation work. It's not something that she could have done by herself. Don't you think that she's being instructed by someone? Huang Yu felt that it was reasonable after she heard that. Then who is it? Since we've come to this point, I'd like to share a few things with you. Do you know that Dad did not become a vegetable because he fought with someone? Mu Qiqi looked at Rong Junhan subconsciously when she said that. Rong Junhan looked at Mu Qiqi. After everyone heard this, they were shocked once again. What? Especially the old man, who immediately stood up from his chair. In fact, the thing that really made Dad a vegetable was the second car accident. Mu Chichi explained to everyone. It was 2 or 3 hours after Dad got injured in the fight. Someone hit him with a car. Although I don't know if she did it on purpose or not, but according to the abandoned report and documents, Dad was hit by a car. And do you know who the person who hit him was? Oh. Grandpa Shin frowned and asked. Her name is Tong Shui. I believe someone knows her well. After that, Mu Chichi turned around and looked at Second Aunt. She realized that Second Aunt's expression was equally interesting. Second Aunt, don't you think so? Huang Yu suddenly panicked. She looked at Rong Junhan helplessly. Look at Second Aunt's expression. It seems that she needs some time to digest it. Alright, let's talk about Mu Tongxue first. Grandpa, is that okay? Mu Chichi looked at Grandpa Shin and asked for his opinion. She also signaled him not to be anxious. Grandpa Shin took a deep breath and nodded. Okay, go ahead. Just now, Grandpa asked Mu Tongxue about what happened in the Shin family that day. She told us everything. So what does it mean? She was either not there or someone told her. And the person who told her must be there. So, it must be someone other than Dad who was in the ward today. It's impossible for second uncle and second aunt. Grandpa and third uncle would not do such a thing. Third aunt is the most suspicious one. Are you kidding me? Third aunt rolled her eyes. I stay at home all day. How can I have the time to entertain her? So, Aunt Rong, can you tell us that you hid Mu Tongxue and trained her to imitate me to provoke the Shin family because you don't want me to stop you from marrying into the Shin family? Of course, Rong Junhan would not admit it. Do you have any evidence? You're just spouting nonsense here, just like how you said Jianchuan suffered a second injury. Of course, I will say it if I have evidence. Why should I be anxious if I don't investigate it clearly? Mu Chichi answered Rong Junhan calmly. You are the only one who has the manpower and energy to do this. You must give us a reason, right? Otherwise, how did Mu Tongxue know about it? Did you install a surveillance camera or a bug in the Shin family? Everyone looked at Rong Junhan, including Second Elder and Huang Yu. Actually, you don't have to be too surprised. Your sister-in-law has done more interesting things than this. Mu Chichi stopped Mu Tongxue and grabbed her clothes. Don't you think so, Tongxue? Mu Tongxue gritted her teeth. She could feel that Rong Junhan was staring at her. Chapter 176. Of course, you don't want to know what I'm talking about. But you admit that you are Mu Tongxue, right? Mu Chichi crossed her arms and smiled at her. You can't deny it. Moreover, we can easily find out who hid you, who instructed you, who trained you and who told you about the Shin family. Then Mu Chichi looked at Second Aunt. Since Mu Tongxue refuses to confess, then we will turn our attention to Tong Shui. Rong Junhan saw that everyone in the ward was fooled by Mu Chichi. She sneered at her. Mu Chichi, I think you are the one who planned all this, right? You asked Mu Tongxue to pretend to be you and put the blame on the Shin family. You pretended to be the victim. But, in fact, you are the one who stole it. Aunt Rong, you seem to be very anxious. Mu Chichi replied with a sneer. Otherwise, how can you explain that you appeared not long after Mu Tongxue appeared? I appeared because I received a call from Grandpa. Mu Chichi said frankly. Do you think that Mu Tongxue could hide from the Shin family with her acting skills? From the first time she appeared in the ward, Dad had already seen through her. Because of this tattoo, Dad had asked me before what it meant. So, he arranged to meet Mu Tongxue today. And I came here today just to see how similar Mu Tongxue would be when she pretended to be me. But it seems that she is just SOSO. So, Shin Jianchuan and Grandpa Shin knew about it. No wonder they wanted to gather all the Shin family. That's right. At this time, Grandpa Shin finally said, Jianchuan and I knew that Mu Tongxue pretended to be Mu Chichi. That's why we came here today. But I didn't know about Jianchuan's second injury. And Tong Shui, second brother, can you tell me who she is? Second brother was stunned. Because no one knew that he had set up a company with Rong Junhan. But now it seemed that he could not keep it a secret anymore. I also want to keep your secret, second uncle, but this matter is related to the murderer who injured my father. So, I have no choice but to make it public for you, second uncle. Then Mu Chichi turned around and said to Grandpa Xing, Grandpa, we found out that there is a company called Xing Rong. The legal representative is Tong Shui, and one of the shareholders is Shin Lin. After the old man heard this, he looked at second brother. Is what little Seven said true? Second brother couldn't deny it and could only nod. That's true, but... Alright, second uncle, since you've admitted it, can you tell everyone that the legal representative of your company, Tong Shui, is this sister-in-law in front of you? Mu Chichi asked. This. Looks like you've tacitly agreed to it. Now, as long as the daughter of the old director of the hospital was invited to identify the murderer, then the murderer who hurt her father for the second time would be revealed. Muchichi looked at her and said, "Aunt Rong, do you still want to argue?" Rong Junhan sneered. "Are you trying to deny all the kindness I've done for the Shin family all these years just because of your nonsense? Isn't your wishful thinking a little too good?" It seems that Aunt Rong still doesn't want to admit it. Muchichi looked at Huang Yu after she said that. "Second aunt, you don't want to believe it either, right? I only believe in the evidence. Moreover, everyone can see how good eldest sister has been to the Shin family for so many years. What if she feels guilty and wants to monitor us?" Muchichi asked Huang Yu. I don't know what to say. Second uncle, second aunt, you've never been a bad person. Why do you still believe what Aunt Rong said all these years? Don't tell me that her actions over the years really didn't make any connection at all? Hearing what Muchichi said, Rong Junhan went forward and raised her hand. She wanted to teach Muchichi a lesson. Don't sow discord here. But Muchichi turned her head and dodged. We'll know soon whether it's the truth or not. I don't want to talk to you. Since you're all against me, I'll leave. Rong Junhan wanted to leave, because she knew that it would be disastrous if she continued to stay in the ward. But Muchichi had planted the seed of suspicion in everyone's heart. Even if she left, she would have to face it sooner or later. After that, Rong Junhan wanted to leave. But Muchichi stopped her. Aren't you going to bring your beloved disciple with you? I don't know her at all. Don't accuse me wrongly. Mu Tangxue knew that she was abandoned by Rong Junhan now after she heard what Rong Junhan said. Finally, she could not hold it in anymore. I admit that she asked me to go there. At that moment, Rong Junhan had not left the ward yet. She brought me away from the hospital. She gave me the information in the video. She asked me to imitate Muchichi. She said that she wanted to use me to sow discord between Muchichi and the Shin family. To her, Muchichi was the biggest obstacle to her entering the Shin family. After that, she gave me a makeover. Then she asked me to work in her dance studio. She asked me not to worry about my future. She would arrange everything for me. So, I did what she asked me to do. Why does it sound like you and your sister are working together to slander me? Let me tell you. Rong Junhan will not be wrong so easily. Don't even think about it. Rong Junhan shouted at Muchichi. You want to enter the Shin family, but you are afraid that I will stop you. I am a member of the Shin family. Why should I be afraid of you? Because you know that you won't have a good time as long as I am here. Are you done with your acting? Rong Junhan said sarcastically. Huang Yu, you still believe in eldest sister-in-law, don't you? Muchichi and Mu Tangshue's acting is full of loopholes. Huang Yu looked at Muchichi and then at Rong Junhan. You are the one who is full of loopholes. Do you have any evidence? Rong Junhan raised her eyebrows and asked. If you don't have any evidence, I can sue you for slander. Then Rong Junhan wanted to go out. But when she opened the door, she saw the former director's daughter, Dr. Zhong. Rong Junhan took 2 steps back. Dr. Zhong entered the ward and pointed at Rong Junhan. Then she said to Muchichi, Isn't she Tong Shui? What a joke. If I were Tong Shui, do you know how many times I come to the hospital every day? Dr. Zhong crossed her arms and answered Rong Junhan. I've been abroad for many years. Can't you hear that my tone is different? I only came back a while ago because my mother passed away. At that time, because of eldest young Master Shin's car accident, you went to my father and revoked the license of eldest young Master Shin's attending doctor. You asked him to keep it a secret, but he refused. Chapter 177. I'm not talking nonsense. The hospital has an archive of discarded documents. You can check it out. Wait here. I'll look for it. Then Dr. Zhong went to look for the documents. But Rong Junhan was in a hurry to leave before her. But she was stopped by Jing Yun's men at the door. Madam Rong, why are you in a hurry to leave? Don't you want to see the evidence before you leave? Jing Yun came to the Shin family with the gifts that Xing Xiao had asked him to give. Rong Junhan's expression changed. She wanted to leave, but Jing Yun stopped her. Then Jing Yun handed the documents to Grandpa Shin. This is the evidence of eldest young Master Shin's second injury. At that time, eldest young Master Shin's attending doctor had found out the main cause of his vegetative state. However, Madame Rong had bribed the hospital director to hide the truth. The initial diagnosis is in the information. To avoid suspicion, Rong Junhan had used the alias Tong Shui to collude with the dean. But Madame Zhong had seen it. What's more arrogant about her is that she bribed the dean to use the alias Tong Shui. She also used the name Tong Shui to set up a joint company with second young master Shin. She probably thinks that no one will be able to find out. Jing Yun passed the documents to everyone in the Shin family. The witness and the evidence were here. What else could Rong Junhan say this time? After Grandpa Shin finished reading the documents, he walked towards Rong Junhan step by step. His gaze was fierce. He could not believe that he had let a wolf into his house after so many years. He had treated the person who had hurt his son as his savior. So, when he stood in front of Rong Junhan, he did not wait for her to say anything. He gave her 2 tight slaps on her face. Everyone in the ward was shocked by her action. Because of the 2 slaps, Rong Junhan's face was swollen, and there was blood at the corner of her mouth. I won't lose anything even if I shoot you today. Grandpa Shin pinched Rong Junhan's neck and said, "You have lied to the Shin family for so many years. Now you want to hurt my granddaughter? Tell me, can I forgive you?" Old Master Shing even lifted the man up. Rong Junhan's face was red and she could not breathe. Huang Yu quickly went forward and hugged Grandpa Shin's leg. "Father, don't be so agitated. We can't do this." "Then tell me, what should I do?" The old man retorted with bloodshot eyes. "Eldest brother has been lying on the sickbed for so many years. You brothers don't feel sorry for him, but I, as his father, am in so much pain that I can't breathe. And I'm old and muddle-headed. I let this be *Tch take care of my son for so many years. If it wasn't for her, my son would have woken up long ago. Do you believe me?" "Grandpa, it's not worth it." Mu Chichi also came forward to persuade him. A woman like her who is like a snake and a scorpion, and she still wants to marry into the Shin family? "Second bro, don't you like it a lot? What about now?" The old man looked fiercely at second brother's family and asked. Huang Yu lowered her head in guilt and slapped herself. "We didn't know the right person and were used. Dad, please forgive us." "I forgive you, but can you forgive yourselves?" Huang Yu lowered her head and stopped talking. "You can't be 18 years old yet." Rong Junhan did not expect that she would be exposed by Mu Chichi in the ward today. She had underestimated her opponent. She thought that a little girl like her would not be able to find out about the past. She really did not expect that Mu Chichi was so capable. Rong Junhan did not expect that Mu Chichi was so capable. Ah, what a good show. But the Shin family is really stupid. It took you so many years to see the truth. That's right. I was the one who bumped into Shin Jianchuan that year. But so what? Su Ziqing has already married Mu Chichi. But he still wants to be with her. So I have to teach him a lesson. What? Can't I? What do you want? It's been 15 years. What can you do to me? Moreover, there are a lot of things that you didn't expect. Back then, I knew that Shin Jianchuan and Su Ziqing were together, so I called her. In fact, I didn't do anything wrong. After she ran out, she slept with the man from the Mu family. Not long after, they got married. Shin Jianchuan was excited when he heard that. It turned out that Rong Junhan was the one who caused Su Ziqing to leave him. Don't look at me like that. You and Su Ziqing are not compatible. You were not compatible in the past and you are not compatible now. I just did not expect that Su Ziqing could give birth to such a bastard. So, you deserve to be in a vegetative state now. After saying those words, Rong Junhan finally showed her true nature. She did not need to pretend anymore. I know that all of you want to strangle me to death. But I'm sorry. You don't have the ability to do so. Huang Yu, let's not talk about your company. Even your son Shenlin's future is in my hands. You will never know whose daughter your daughter-in-law Xiaojing is. She's mine. Ah, what a stupid family. Rong Junhan was arrogant. But she had the ability to be arrogant. For the past 10 years, she had been secretly plotting against the Shin family. She would not let them go so easily. Huang Yu was anxious. She wanted to rush over. But Grandpa Shin stopped her. Don't you think you are stupid enough? Huang Yu's eyes turned red. She did not say anything. If that's the case, I don't want to enter the Shin family anymore. Anyway, my daughter has already married into the Shin family. It's nothing. I will leave Mu Tongxue to you. Remember to torture her well. I won't accompany you anymore. Then Rong Junhan turned around and left. But Jing Yun stopped her. Rong Junhan snorted coldly. Do you want to stop me forever? You can sue me at the police station if you dare. Jing Yun, let her go, said Grandpa Shin. After Jing Yun heard that, he turned his body slightly to let Rong Junhan leave the hospital and the ward. I never expected that eldest sister-in-law is such a person. Second uncle punched the wall of the hospital. And I treated her as my father for so many years. I even helped her a lot. I feel disgusted when I think about it. Huang Yu knelt on the floor. She did not know what to do. Father, what about Shenlin? Now you are begging me? Didn't you only recognize your eldest sister-in-law? Grandpa Shin snorted. Father, you are magnanimous. Don't lower yourself to the same level as us. We were blinded by her. Huang Yu cried. Then why did you pick on Mu Chichi for so long? Did Mu Chichi ever hurt you? Chapter 178. Then father, why did you let her go? Shin Jinyun asked angrily. If I didn't let her go, should I keep her here? Don't forget who you are. Moreover, how would you know how many traps that woman has set for us? Let's talk about it later. What you need to do now is to find out the identity of your wife, Xiao Jing. Rong Junhan is a few years older than eldest brother. So, she must have had a child with a wild man long ago. But the Rong family hid it from us. Huang Yu felt as if a knife was stabbed into her heart when she thought about the couple who had just gotten married and had not come back from abroad. Mu Chichi looked at the mess that Rong Junhan had caused in the Shin family. She shook her head and took a deep breath. Grandpa, father, I'm afraid I have no say in the matters of the Shin family. But please let me handle Mu Tongxue. Xiao Qi. Grandpa Shin sighed. What do you mean you have no say in the matter? You are a member of the Shin family. Chi-Chi. Huang Yu thought about what she had done to her before. She felt ashamed. I'm sorry. I'm blinded by greed. I hope you won't hold a grudge against me. It's hard to predict a person's heart. Who would know that the family, who has been with us for more than 10 years, is actually a wolf in sheep's clothing? I don't blame you, second aunt. Mu Chichi replied. It's not because I'm generous. It's just that what you are going to face next is a punishment. Since Rong Junhan dared to expose her illegitimate daughter, it means that she must have something on you. Perhaps she will make use of second uncle and her to set up a company. After all, second uncle works for the government. He will not tolerate such scandals. That's right. Look. Even an 18-year-old child can see things more clearly than you. Of course, she can see things more clearly than Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin snorted. He was old now. Why don't you go back and think about it? Why are you still here? Then father will leave first. Shin Jinyun pulled his wife. I'll learn my lesson in the future. Humph. Grandpa Shin turned around and looked at third brother and his wife. What about you? Fortunately, I didn't have much contact with eldest sister all these years. So, we don't have any financial ties. Third aunt smiled. Don't worry, father. That's good. Grandpa Shen glared at third aunt before turning to Mu Chichi. What do you plan to do with Mu Tongxue? Mu Chichi turned to look at Mu Tongxue and smiled. Grandpa, no punishment is better than letting her live under my watch. I'll give her a rundown house and a rundown school. I'll let her live a mediocre life so that she won't be able to stir up trouble again. I want her to see me achieve success with her own eyes. Mu Tongxue smiled. I won't be at ease no matter where I put the rest. You can't just kill them, right? Mu Tongshue's expression was blank. She simply didn't know what the others were whispering to her, nor did she know where Mu Chichi intended to send her. Grandpa Xing nodded in agreement. She looks like you and can easily confuse people. So, you have to be careful. Grandpa, I'm no longer the Mu Chichi that she played with. Xiao Qi, you're a real member of the Shin family from now on. Don't be an outsider. As my granddaughter, you're the real third generation of Jianchuan. Who would dare to bully you? Mu Chichi smiled and turned to look at Shin Jianchuan. Father, I'll come to see you another day. You must recover well. Shin Jianchuan nodded and smiled happily, because he had a feeling that Mu Chichi would be a great person in the future. She would be able to make up for the lost time that he had been lying on the bed all these years. Grandpa Sheng was relieved after Rong Juanhan's true colors were exposed. He watched Mu Chichi bring Mu Tongxue away and third aunt and his wife leave the hospital. Your daughter belongs to this category. Grandpa Sheng gave her a thumbs up. Shin Jianchuan leaned against the bed and answered him with much difficulty. Father, we can let Mu Chichi participate in second brother's business. Then second brother and his family won't bully Mu Chichi anymore. How dare he? But I'm really curious about Mu Chichi's ability. If she can even solve second brother's problem, Grandpa Sheng will be very happy. But she is such a good girl. Becoming a forensic doctor. Since it's her choice, we should respect it as her elders. That was why Grandpa Sheng felt that it was a pity. If Mu Chichi joined the army and followed his old path, her future would be limitless. But it was fine for her to become a forensic doctor. After all, she was serving the society. After this battle, Mu Chichi knew very well that her position in the Shin family had changed. She would not be ostracized anymore. However, she still needed some opportunities to prove herself to the Shin family if she wanted them to like her. Mu Qiqi asked Jing Yun to bring Mu Tongxue along. Actually, it was Xing Zhao's idea. It was much safer for the Sheng family to supervise someone than to let her go outside. Sheng Xiao said that he wanted to get rid of Mu Tongxue completely. He did not want her to have a chance to stir up trouble again. So, he gave her a poor house and a chance to go to a vocational school. He gave her a future where she would not be able to live. No one would help her and no one would dare to get close to her. That would be her gloomy life from now on. The three of them sat in the car. Mu Qiqi looked out of the car window. After a long time she asked, "Do you still want to compete?" Mu Tongxue was dejected. Her heart was dead. So she shook her head. "I don't want to be you at all. All of this was caused by you. If you had a little bit of humanity and didn't do those things to grandma, mommy, grandpa, and that scum of the Mu family, you wouldn't have ended up like this. You are a member of the Mu family. No matter how cruel grandpa is, he would not reject his own granddaughter. It's you." Mu Tongxue felt ashamed and angry when she remembered what she did to Grandpa Mu because she thought she was a member of the Shin family. Grandpa would never forgive me for the rest of his life. Why should he forgive you? You should know that the world does not revolve around you. Tongxue, everything in the past should be forgotten. You can say that I am cruel by keeping you in the slums. But I have to do it because I know that you have nothing to play with anymore. I accept. Mu Tongxue shed tears. At least I have a place to stay. Sister, you are still the best to me, right? Chapter 179. For the proud Mu Tongxue, she would have to wash her own clothes, cook her own food, clean her own house and live her own life. She would have to face the dirtiest environment and meet all kinds of bad people. It was the worst torture in the world. And because she would have to deal with life, Mu Tongxue would not have the energy to cause trouble anymore. Miss Qiqi, let's go. Jing Yun reminded Mu Qiqi. No one will recognize Mu Tongxue in 3 months after she comes here. Someone will take care of her. Don't worry. Because the tribulations of life can change a person beyond recognition. And she had bullied Mu Qiqi before. Would Xing Xiao let her live in peace? Daydreaming. For a young lady like Mu Tongxue, being reduced to such a state was like falling from heaven to hell. Could it be worse? Mu Qiqi nodded and went back to the car. From then on, she and Mu Tongxue would truly lead 2 different lives. After returning to the little mansion, Mu Qiqi told Su Zipei everything that had happened in the ward that afternoon. Su Zipei could not help but tremble in fear when she heard it. I really did not expect that the Shen family had such a dirty secret. But fortunately, Rong Junhan did not marry into the Shen family. It is a blessing in disguise. But Rong Junhan will not let it go. She kept second uncle's family in check. Mu Qiqi sat in front of Su Zipei and took a sip of tea. Let's not talk about the Shin family. When are you going to marry Uncle Lu? And I really think that you two should have a small wedding. You don't have to worry about us. But do you think the Shin family doesn't hate you now? Mu Qiqi sighed and smiled. How can they not hate me? They just don't hate me as much as before. That is a good sign. And what are you afraid of when young Master Sheng is here? But when you have a stable position in the Shin family, you will be more distant from young Master Sheng. He is your uncle after all. Will the Shin family support you to be with young Master Sheng? That was the thing that worried Su Zipei the most at the moment. Yes, you are the daughter of the Shin family now. Your status is different. But will Grandpa Shin do what he did to your parents? Mu Qiqi was not sure about that, but she and Xiao Xiao would not be torn apart so easily. I believe in Xiao Xiao. Since he has made such arrangements, he must have a plan in mind. When you get home later, ask him. Mu Qiqi trusted him, so she did not have to ask. Be that as it may, Mama Sheng was still in the villa she had prepared for Sheng Xiao. She had wanted to get close to her son and find out what kind of woman he was hanging out with, but Jing Yun was not at home all the time, much less Sheng Xiao. Moreover, she had heard something about Mu Qiqi. Therefore, after staying in the villa for 2 days, she finally waited for Jing Yun to return home to rest. She stopped him and asked, Jing Yun, I heard something. I want to confirm it with you. Jing Yun knew what was going on, but he was still worried. He was afraid that Mama Sheng would ask, but he had to deal with Mama Sheng for Sheng Xiao. Please ask, madam. Mama Sheng held her teacup and rested one hand on her other elbow, her eyes puzzled. I heard that Sheng Xiao asked you to save a girl from the Mu family? Madam, she's a child of the Shen family who's living outside. How old is she? Does Sheng Xiao visit her often? 18. She's in college now. Why would young master have the time to visit a little girl? It's just that this child saved young master's life when he was in a car accident. To return the favor, he asked me to help this child, Jingyun said calmly. Mama Xing nodded at that. Jingyun, you have to be careful. You should know that there are a lot of girls out there waiting to climb into your young master's bed. Don't be careless and mess things up. I know. Since she's a child of the Shin family, it's fine to bring her to the Xing family and let everyone get to know her. The Shin family is in a lot of trouble now. I'll make arrangements for you after this. Jingyun said evasively. All right. I'm going back to the Xing family now. I can't do anything about Xing Xiao. Satisfied, Mama Xing put down the teacup in her hand. I'll see you off, madam. Then Jingyun told Xing Xiao everything Mama Xing had asked Mu Qiqi. Xing Xiao had just returned to his new home. He found Mu Qiqi reading some documents on the living room couch, but he still answered Jingyun, "You did well. Young master, forget it. You should rest." Jingyun was worried about Xing Xiao. He had promised Mama Xing that he would bring her daughter-in-law home in 3 months. Was he really going to bring Mu Qiqi to the Xing family? He wanted to ask, but he knew very well that Xing Xiao would not answer him. Xing Xiao raised a brow and hung up. He did not have to tell Jingyun everything about his own private affairs. When they entered the living room, he hugged Mu Qiqi from behind and carried her to the dining table. Then Mu Qiqi turned around and saw Xing Xiao's handsome face as she wished. I know what happened in the hospital this afternoon. Did you enjoy it? I didn't manage to get Rong Junhan. Do you think I enjoyed it? Mu Qiqi snorted. Of course, I know that this woman has been lurking in the Shin family for so many years. It's not easy to deal with her. A cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. I believe that she must have prepared 10 escape routes for herself after staying in the Shin family for so many years. I've never seen such an evil person. She married her illegitimate daughter to the Shin family just to control the Shin family. It's your second uncle and second aunt's fault. Xing Xiao loosened his tie and revealed his sexy collarbone. Now, Rong Junhan clearly wants to suck the blood of your second uncle and his family. Just like what you said, it's second uncle and his family's fault. I don't care about this kind of thing. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's neck and said, moreover, Grandpa and Father are so smart. How can they not deal with Rong Junhan? How hard can it be to deal with a woman? Xing Xiao put her down from the dining table and led her to the bedroom. But your grandfather and second uncle are not suitable to be involved in certain situations. And you are a cunning little girl. You are not an outsider and you don't belong to the Shin family completely. Most importantly, you are not afraid of anything. You dare to go anywhere. Do you think Grandpa Shin will let you go? Xiao Xiao, my aunt asked me today. What about our relationship if I manage to get a foothold in the Shin family? Mu Qiqi suddenly remembered Su Zipei's question in the afternoon. Do you really want to be my uncle? Then Xing Xiao turned around and lifted her chin. He said, I will be your uncle and you're a man. You are really, come on. I will let you see if your uncle is old or not. Chapter 180. Grandpa Shin wanted Shin Jinyun to find out the relationship between him and Rong Junhan. Now, second elder of the Shin family was in a dilemma. Other than Shin Lin's company, there are 3 other companies. I don't want to know how many companies you have now. I just want to know if you have done anything against the rules for this woman. Have you done anything behind the scenes? Grandpa Shin sat on the main seat in the living room and placed his hands on his knees. Father, you know me. No matter how bold I am, I won't dare to do something like that. We still need to find out whether you will do it or not. Huang Yu, tell us about Xiao Jing now. Grandpa Shin glared at Shin Jinyun and then looked at Huang Yu. However, when it came to Shin Lin, Huang Yu became more worried. When Xiao Jing and Shin Lin were together, she told Shin Lin that her father was a painter, and her mother passed away after giving birth to her. Since they had never met her mother, they believed what she said. Yesterday, I asked a reliable friend to investigate it. Finally, I found out that Rong Junhan dated a poor painter for a period of time when she was young. But no one knew that they had a daughter. Moreover, Dad, all our assets are under Shin Lin's name now. If Xiao Jing really wants to do something, I'm afraid that we'll lose everything we've worked hard for the rest of our lives. Who asked you to be so gullible? Why didn't Rong Junhan go to third elder and his wife? Speaking of which, I have a big responsibility. Grandpa Shin took a deep breath. Now the biggest problem is Shin Lin. If Shin Lin is not bewitched and can tell right from wrong, it will be easy. But if, I will call Shin Lin now and ask him to come home. How about asking him to come home? Do you want him to divorce after he just got married? Grandpa Shin was having a headache now. Rong Junhan was really evil. How could she come up with such a plan? Moreover, Shenlin only cares about Xiaojing now. He might not believe you no matter what you say. In the end, you might lose both your money and yourself. What should we do now? How many days before they come back? Grandpa Shen asked. 2 days. Huang Yu answered quickly. 2 days. I'll have to think about it. There's another problem, Dad. Shenlin might be prejudiced against Chi-Chi. After all, The old man glanced at her and understood the meaning of her words. It was normal for a mother to complain to her son, but he still couldn't help scolding. Xiaoqi owed you in her previous life. Moreover, Jing Yun had already calculated the things that second brother had prepared for Grandpa Shen. He had also prepared the information and handed it to Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao felt that Rong Junhan was quite an interesting person. Just because the second son of the Shen family was rather dull, she was like a vampire. She brought along her daughter and attached herself to the second son's family. It was one thing to swindle money, but the most unforgivable thing was to swindle feelings. Shenlin will be back from abroad in 2 or 3 days. He is an arrogant and despotic person. In addition, you are younger than him. It is inevitable that he will target you. Moreover, his wife is fanning his ears. So what if he hates me? I don't depend on him for a living. Mu Chichi held Xing Zhao's shoulder and snorted. But you exposed Rong Junhan. I'm afraid the Shen family is counting on you to solve Shenlin's problem. They are newlyweds. How can I tell them that his wife is doing this for his money? Mu Chichi could not bear it. Because it would be painful for her to think about it if it happened to her. If someone else had told her to separate from Xing Xiao like that, she would have been better off dead than alive. Lying is lying. You might think that it is cruel, but Rong Junhan and Rong Junhan don't think so. Xing Xiao turned around and hugged Mu Chichi. Then he put her on his lap. What if I lied to you? Mu Chichi asked tentatively. Xing Xiao bent down and smiled. You can't lie to me with your little tricks. If I find out that you lied to me, you won't be able to keep your butt anymore. Aren't you angry? I am angry. But I will train you. I will beat you every time I lie to you. I can't let you leave my side. Good or bad, you are my little one. Xing Xiao lifted Mu Chichi's chin. His eyes were dangerous and warning. I told you before. Since you dragged me into hell, don't think that you can get out of it. As for me, I won't lie to you about my principles. At most, I will tell a little lie every day. Mu Chichi made a gesture with her hand. I know. Because there were not many people who could lie to him in this world. Although he was a devil, he was a meticulous person. It was difficult for ordinary people to notice what Xing Xiao was looking at. But he was a person who knew how to behave. So, did she want to lie to him? Even if she cultivated for 10 lifetimes, it would not be enough. Have you tried your little uncle's body? Do you feel old? Mu Chichi thought of those things just now. She blushed. Can you not talk about this here? We are on the bed. What else can we talk about? Xing Xiao teased her on purpose. Well, it's very useful. What do you think of it? Since it's very useful, let's use it again. Then Xing Xiao turned off the light. Although the room was dark, the atmosphere was getting more and more intimate. Then they started to moan. It was true. Second elder was in the middle of the situation now. So he desperately hoped that someone could help him. It was not a problem of money now. He just could not let his son be ruined like this. Rong Junhan was controlling his son. Who knew what else she would do to him? Huang Yu was a straightforward person. She was good at fighting. But when it came to scheming, she could only look at third aunt's back. But she was not on good terms with her. Father, after the couple comes back, let's have a meal together. Let Shenlin get to know Mu Chichi. Huang Yu suggested to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen did not like Huang Yu's character. She even wanted to beat her up. Now she had to ask for help. It was so embarrassing. But he still agreed with Huang Yu. That's good. We should get to know each other. But let me make it clear first. If Shenlin speaks rudely to Mu Chichi, you must not spoil your son. Dad, I really did admit my mistake. I also know that Mu Chichi is innocent. Although I'm a dumb person, I can distinguish between kindness and hatred. Since Mu Chichi is a good person, of course, I won't mistreat her anymore. That's more like it. Chapter 181. The next day, Shenlin brought his wife home. But he did not go back to the Shen family after they got off the plane. Instead, he went to his wife's house. During dinner, Shenlin's father-in-law, who was a painter, told him, I heard that your Shen family has a sister who doesn't share the same surname. She is your eldest uncle's daughter. She has turned the Shen family upside down. If she doesn't have Grandpa's support, she is just an 18-year-old girl. What can she do? Xinlin drank a glass of red wine. He was full of resentment. Grandpa has never treated my sister and me like that. I don't care what is going on in the Xin family, but you can't let my daughter be wronged. Otherwise I will make her leave you. Don't worry, father-in-law. Xinlin raised his glass and toasted to his father-in-law. Xiaojing is my life. Yu Jing took the opportunity to glance at her father. Their eyes met. Nothing needed to be said. There was no need for them to say anything else. They were all liars. The next morning Xinlin brought Yu Jing back to the Xin family. However, on the way back Yu Jing asked Xinlin, I heard from my father that this sister of yours who doesn't share the same surname as you has a lot of tricks up her sleeves. She made Grandpa very happy. So, I'm afraid that Dad and Mom will side with her. Don't worry. Our parents hate her. Xinlin replied. Even if our parents are convinced by her, I will not let you be wronged. I am your elder brother. I am your elder. Xinlin, you're the best to me. Yu Jing leaned on Xinlin's chest lovingly. Then Xinlin brought Yu Jing into the Xin family. However, the atmosphere in the Xin family was strange. The elders looked at Yu Jing from time to time. They were suspicious of her. It made Xinlin uncomfortable. Mom, don't you know Xiaojing? Why are you looking at her so strangely? It's nothing. Did you have fun abroad? Huang Yu listened to Grandpa Xin. She did not want to ruin her relationship with her son. With her temper, she would not be able to hide it. However, Grandpa Xin called Mu Chichi this morning. Mu Chichi told Grandpa Xin that second aunt must suppress her temper. Since Xinlin hated her now, she would play the bad cop and second aunt would play the good cop. Then they would play the good cop and the bad cop together. In this way, even if Xinlin hated her even more, he would not let second aunt tell him about it. If they hurt their relationship, they would fall into Rong Juanhan's trap. After hearing Mu Chichi's words, Huang Yu almost knelt down in front of Mu Chichi. I never thought that you would still be willing to help me. Xiao Qi isn't a good person. She didn't treat you like this because she forgave you. That I know. Huang Yu nodded. Xiao Qi is a part of the Xin family. She did this because of you and eldest brother. Humph. Therefore, when her son and daughter-in-law came back in the morning, she reminded herself to resist the urge to question Yu Jing. Isn't a honeymoon like that? 2 days ago, you told me that the engagement between eldest uncle and eldest aunt was cancelled. What's going on? Did that girl not agree to it? It has nothing to do with Mu Chichi. I will tell you the details later. Huang Yu did not mention a word about it because Mu Chichi told her not to. It was because there were too many people involved in this matter. It was inevitable that Huang Yu would say something wrong. So, she told her not to say anything. It must be like this. Your grandpa knows that you are coming back. So he arranged a banquet to welcome you. You and Xiaojing should go back to your room and have a rest. I will tell you when it's time for dinner. What do you mean by welcoming us? It's just to let us see that girl, right? Xinlin said angrily. Eldest aunt has been worried about this family for so many years. Now this wild thing came out and got in her way. It's so unlucky. Huang Yu resisted the urge to scold him. She quickly drove her son away. Go. Because she was afraid that if Xinlin said another word, she would not be able to hold it in anymore. What Rong Junhan wanted to do was to play mind games. She knew the Xin family too well. She did not want to play such tricks. Moreover, Mu Chichi was just an 18-year-old child. So, she revealed Yu Jing's secret to the public. Indeed, Mu Chichi was just 18 years old. But Xing Xiao, who was behind her, could not be compared to 10 Rong Junhans. In the phone call between Mu Chichi and Grandpa Sheng in the morning, other than Mu Chichi's own thoughts, Xing Xiao had given her a lot of hints. Xinlin was very angry. As her son, of course, he noticed that his mother was behaving strangely. But he could not tell why. Yu Jing saw that and smiled. She comforted him. Don't think too much. No matter what, it will be fine when you see her tonight. At that time, I must teach this girl a good lesson. She should know what she should do and what she should not do. Whether Mu Chichi had Grandpa Shin's support or not, she was still Xing Xiao's treasure. And Xing Xiao would only teach his woman how to take advantage of others. She had the upper hand how to show off. He would never teach her how to be humble and keep a low profile. Soon it was night. Mu Chichi came out of Xingting University. She got into Xing Xiao's car. When can I go to the Xin family with you to have a meal openly? Xing Xiao glanced at her while he was driving. Do you really want to go public with me? Of course not. I don't want to call you uncle. Mu Chichi pouted. But sometimes I really want to. Where is the hotel? The Dynasty. Mu Qiqi answered. Why do you ask? Xing Xiao did not answer her. He sent Mu Qiqi to the dynasty and called Jing Yun. Since Mu Qiqi wanted him to appear in the Shen family, of course he could make it a beautiful encounter. After all, he still needed to eat, right? Mu Qiqi did not know what Xing Xiao was thinking about. She went straight into the hotel and went to a private room. Xing Xiao had told her not to be late or early. She did not want to be early to remind others of her identity. But she did not want to be late so that others would not be able to use it against her. So when she arrived at the private room, she was just in time. Qiqi, you are here. Grandpa Shen waved at her when he saw her. Come. Grandpa is here. How dare you to let the whole family wait for you? Shen Lin crossed his arms and snorted coldly. Mu Qiqi heard that. Then she looked at Shen Lin and raised her eyebrows. You must be Shen Lin, brother Shen, right? Grandpa told me that the dinner will be served at 7. So I arrived at 7. Is there a problem? I am not that close to you. Don't call me brother first. It's so straightforward. Chapter 182. What did you say? Shen Lin looked at Mu Qiqi angrily. Don't think that I won't dare to hurt you just because Grandpa is protecting you. I just came here and you're already angry. Are you trying to teach me a lesson? Mu Qiqi leaned back and looked at Shen Lin. But I don't want to be angry because of you. I pity you. Shen Lin looked at Mu Qiqi. What are you talking about? Do I need you to pity me? Why don't you need me to pity you? Do you know what your wife's real identity is? Mu Qiqi looked at Yu Jing with a cunning look. What does this have to do with Xiaojing? If you continue to talk nonsense, I won't be polite to you anymore. Shen Lin stood up and slammed the table angrily. Miss Yu, do you dare to tell your husband who your mother is? Yu Jing looked at Shen Lin awkwardly. I know that you want to tell everyone that your mother passed away during childbirth, right? Then I must congratulate you. Your mother is not dead. Mu Qiqi clapped her hands in front of everyone. Because she admitted that you're her daughter in front of everyone in the Shen family. You can't deny it, can you? What are you trying to say? Shen Lin was puzzled. What I want to say is that your new wife, Yu Jing, is Rong Juanhan's daughter. She's her illegitimate daughter with the painter. Do you understand? Shen Lin was stunned when he heard what Mu Qiqi said. He looked at his wife in disbelief. Then he looked at his parents. From their silent attitude, Shen Lin got the answer. Is it true? Shen Jingyun and his wife did not say anything. Even if it's true, isn't it too close? Closer ties? Mu Qiqi sneered and stood up. Do you know why your eldest uncle, who is my father, has been lying in bed for more than 10 years? Miss Yu's mother, Rong Junhan, hit him with her car. Stop slandering me. Eldest uncle became a vegetable because of a fight. Who are you trying to fool? Shen Lin held Yu Jing's shoulder. He was afraid that his wife would be sad. Whether I'm lying or not, the evidence is clear. Now what I want to know is, Miss Yu, are you in cahoots with the evil like your mother? Mu Qiqi pointed at Yu Jing and asked sharply. Shut up. Shen Lin scolded loudly. This is the Shen family, not a place where an outsider like you can behave atrociously. Mu Qiqi, you should be more suitable too. Huang Yu immediately got into character and played the part of the red-faced girl. My son and daughter-in-law didn't offend you. What do you mean you didn't offend him? This woman's mother caused my father to lie in the hospital for more than 10 years. She caused me to be bullied by the Mu family for so many years. So what if I ask her now? Or, second aunt, are you not afraid that this woman is here to cheat your son's feelings? Yu Jing pretended to be pitiful. She looked at her husband and said, I don't know anything. I don't know why eldest aunt is my mother. Xiaojing, it's not your fault. Someone is trying to pick a fight with you. I'm trying to pick a fight with you? Are you the president or the most powerful man in the world? Shen Lin, I'm going to pick a fight with you. Don't be cheated by others. When Mu Qiqi said that, Shen Lin couldn't stand it anymore. He stood up and walked to Mu Qiqi. He grabbed her clothes and said, I asked you to shut up. You little bastard. Shut up. Grandpa Shen couldn't stand it anymore when he heard the word little bastard. He looked at Shen Lin sternly. Qiqi is just curious about what happened these few days. So, she wants to ask her granddaughter-in-law. Why are you bullying her? How can you behave like this? Grandpa, I know you care about your granddaughter. But this woman has ulterior motives. We don't know what she is going to do to the Shen family. I think you're blind, Shen Lin. The truth is right in front of us. Rong Junhan has done so many bad things. She has admitted it in front of everyone. Yu Jing is her daughter. I don't believe that she can stay out of this. What a joke. Eldest aunt is eldest aunt. Xiaojing is Xiaojing. If Xiaojing says that she doesn't know anything, she definitely doesn't know anything. Don't be a troublemaker. I believe in Xiaojing too. Huang Yu agreed with her son. Xinlin became more confident when he saw his mother supporting him. Moreover, this is our family's matter. It has nothing to do with you, an outsider. You better watch your mouth and get out of here. During that time, third brother went out of the room and went to the washroom. But he bumped into Xing Xiao on his way back. Therefore, when the two of them entered the private room, the atmosphere was tense. Oid Xing Xiao. Uncle Shen, what a coincidence. I was meeting a business partner here and bumped into third brother Shen. When everyone saw Xing Xiao, they knew the relationship between Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao. But Huang Yu did not tell her son about the relationship between Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao. So Xinlin said to Xing Xiao, Crown Prince, you don't know how powerful my sister is. She has turned the Shen family upside down the moment she entered the Shen family. At that moment, Xing Xiao was still in the same outfit when he sent Mu Qiqi to the hotel. He was wearing a black retro suit which made him look noble. Then he walked to Mu Qiqi slowly. Then he raised his hand and patted Mu Qiqi's head. Why are you so naughty when I let you enter the Shen family? Everyone could tell that he was not blaming her. He was spoiling her. Of course, the others did not find it strange. After all, they were close because they were their benefactors. But Xinlin did not know that. When he saw how Xing Xiao spoiled Mu Qiqi, he knew that he had found the wrong ally. It's not that I'm naughty. You know what happened in the Shen family recently. I just wanted to ask some questions. But the eldest brother of the Shen family stopped me. I just wanted to make everyone feel at ease. Second uncle and second aunt trust Yu Jing. But I don't. After all, I'm not their father. He has been lying in bed for more than 10 years. They don't hate each other. Seeing that, Grandpa Shen moved to let Xing Xiao sit down. Then Grandpa Shen said to Xinlin, the reason why Qiqi could return to the Shen family was because Xing Xiao saved her. The relationship between them is not something you can imagine. No wonder she is so arrogant. She has the support of the Crown Prince. I don't have time to support anyone. But I've met her today. So I'll support her for once. Xing Xiao crossed his legs and answered Xinlin lazily. It seems that you want to beat her up just now. If the Shen family doesn't want her, just give her to us. Why do you force yourself to accept her? Xing Xiao, you don't know about Rong Junhan? Uncle Shen, who doesn't know that the marriage between the Rong family and the Shen family is ruined? Everyone knows that Rong Junhan has an illegitimate daughter. Even I could hear it. So, it's not strange that Mu Qiqi would have questions. After all, the people outside are curious about it. Chapter 183. Mu Qiqi almost wanted to set off firecrackers for her man after she heard what Xing Xiao said. What she said was quite powerful. She told Xinlin that Rong Junhan had an illegitimate daughter who was Yu Jing. Moreover, she told him that everyone knew about it now. So, it made sense for Mu Qiqi to question Yu Jing's identity. Mu Qiqi looked at Xinlin. Her man was indeed a godly person. Sure enough, Xinlin turned to look at his wife after he heard what Xing Xiao said. Xiaojing, no matter what, I believe that you are innocent. You should also tell everyone that you are innocent. I believe Xiaojing. Huang Yu expressed her attitude at that moment. Xiaojing, you should say it. Xin Jinyun played the role of the victim again. Because if both of them believed her, Yu Jing would definitely be suspicious. Yu Jing looked as if she had been wronged. She pouted and tried to hold back her tears. However, under everyone's pressure, she stood up and said, I really didn't know that my mother was still alive. I don't know anything. I don't have any motive. I only got together with Xinlin because I love him. All right. Since it's because of love and your family is not short of money, will you agree if I ask you to sign a letter of guarantee? Mu Qiqi took the opportunity to suggest. I believe you when you say that you are not doing it for money. Since you have already said it, it's not a big deal to make a promise, right? Mu Qiqi, you are too much. It's my business if I want to give Xiaojing money. Your business? Among the companies in your hands, which one of them wasn't funded by second uncle and second aunt? What ability do you have to give them? What right do you have to say that it's your business? Now that Rong Junhan's case has happened, who can guarantee that Yu Jing is innocent? Yu Jing felt wronged as she listened to him. In the end, she burst into tears. You Shins are such bullies. It's you and Rong Junhan who lied to us. I told you that I am not close to Rong Junhan. Yu Jing insisted. Why don't you believe me no matter what I say? Xiaojing, calm down. Xinlin quickly comforted his wife. Since the Shen family can't tolerate us, let's go. I'm leaving too. Huang Yu threw down her chopsticks and left the banquet hall with her son and daughter-in-law. After the three of them left, Mu Qiqi sat down and looked at second uncle. She said, "Now we can't be sure whether Yu Jing is really involved in this or not. But at least she won't dare to act rashly after what happened today. Second uncle, when you go home, you must pretend to quarrel with second aunt. Then brother Shenlin will trust second aunt more. If he has any decision he will tell second aunt directly." Qiqi, second uncle, thank you. Shen Jingyun said sincerely, "You're willing to do such a thankless thing for a sinner like me. It's not just your family's business. It's also my father's business. I have a good reason to do this." After saying that, Mu Qiqi glanced at Xing Xiao. But Xing Xiao did not look at her. Perhaps he was afraid that Grandpa Shen would see through Mu Qiqi's feelings for him if they looked at each other. "Moreover, I believe that Shenlin will understand your good intentions in the end." Shen Jinyun picked up the wine glass and finished it in one gulp. He still looked worried. "I hope so." Grandpa Shen glanced at Mu Qiqi and then looked at Xing Xiao. "Xing Xiao, tell me honestly. Did you teach this child a few tricks too?" Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi and smiled. "She's a good seedling. She can be trained well. You and Mu Qiqi are fated. You have to be a good uncle. That way I won't have to worry about Mu Qiqi." "Good uncle?" Xing Xiao snorted, but he did not refute him. He had already taught her on the bed. How could he be serious? "It's just that once Xiaoqi is involved in this, she might suffer a lot in the future." "What do you mean by that?" Mu Qiqi pouted. "Grandpa, brother Shenlin can't win against me in an argument. Compared to Mu Tongxue, Yu Jing is much worse in pretending to be pitiful. Everyone can see that her acting skills are terrible. Brother Shen only trusts her because he likes her. But if you're afraid that I'll be beaten up, then you must send someone to protect me. You little girl." Grandpa Shen pointed at Mu Qiqi and smiled. "Since the show has begun, let's work together and get over Rong Juanhan's hurdle." Everyone nodded. Then they started to eat as if nothing had happened. But after Grandpa Shen talked about the Shen family, he turned to Xing Xiao and asked, "Are you 27 this year? Uncle Shen, do you care about my age?" "I care that you should get married soon." Grandpa Shen sighed. "Why haven't I heard anything about it? Why don't you find a woman to take care of you? Look at you. You can get any woman if you ask for it." "I have a woman," Xing Xiao replied calmly. "Why don't you bring her to meet me?" "It's not the right time yet." Xing Xiao smiled. "I'm afraid she's a very good match for you, the crown prince." Xing Xiao shrugged. He also felt that this person was a very good match. There were thousands of women in the world. But why did he fall into the hands of such a little girl? He had racked his brains and resorted to all sorts of tricks so that she could stay by his side in the future. Even now, he was paving the way for her to stay in the Shen family. Mu Qiqi couldn't help it. She reached her hand under the table and touched Xing Xiao's knee. Xing Xiao noticed it. He raised his eyebrows and looked at her. "Do you want to die?" The three of them left the private room and went to Yu Jing's house. They did not want to go back to the Shen family anymore. Shenlin was furious. "I really want to strangle that bitch. Shenlin, why did we leave? We can't let this happen. If we leave, Mu Qiqi will be even more unscrupulous. What's worse is that your father doesn't trust his son and daughter-in-law. Instead, he trusts an outsider." Huang Yu's eyes turned red when she thought about it. "Mother, you're right. We can't leave the Shen family just like that. Xiao Jing, you're the daughter-in-law of the Shen family. You can't be wronged for no reason. Let's go back." "But I really don't want to be misunderstood by your family." Yu Jing burst into tears. "I really have nothing to do with Rong Junhan. Don't worry. Didn't that woman ask you to sign a letter of guarantee? I will transfer the company to your name. I want to prove to the Shin family that you have nothing to do with Rong Junhan. You only married me because you love me." Chapter 184. Huang Yu secretly sent a message to the Shin family. Shen Jinyun could not help but sigh when he saw that Shen Lin wanted to transfer all the companies to Yu Jing. "I really don't know what he has done. Everyone has a rebellious mentality. His normal second uncle." Mu Qiqi was waiting for the news in the Shen family. So she knew about Shen Lin's plan. "If it doesn't work, I will give up those companies. Even if you don't want them, it doesn't mean that Rong Jinyun and Rong Jinyun will give up. Moreover, you have worked so hard to get those companies. Why do you let the swindlers get what they want?" Mu Qiqi asked Shen Jinyun. "We are injured both inside and outside. If you think like this, you will fall into Rong Junhan's trap. Because this is what she wants." Mu Qiqi comforted Shen Jinyun. "Anyway, the situation can't get any worse. Why don't you relax? Anyway, you have already decided to give up the companies. Are you afraid that you can't solve this problem? What should we do now? I don't know much about the company. I think we can find the best lawyer. As for brother Shinlin, we can ask second aunt to hold him back. Mu Qiqi told Shin Jinyun that he was a politician. So, he had always let his son and Rong Junhan manage the company. So, instead of worrying about it now, it was better for him to hire a lawyer and prepare for the worst. As for Mu Qiqi, she should go back home and consult the experts. What Qiqi said makes sense. Instead of sighing here, why don't we try our best to think of a countermeasure? How can the men of the Shin family be so easily defeated? Grandpa Shin also spoke up to calm his son. Don't be worse than your niece. Shin Jinyun nodded. Actually, he was worried that Shinlin would be cheated. Money was just a worldly possession. Moreover, the money that he had invested over the years had already returned to him. However, he was unwilling to let others take advantage of him. Then Mu Qiqi went home. She texted Huang Yu on her way home. Second aunt, please be careful. Huang Yu had mixed feelings when she read the message. She treated Mu Qiqi so well in the past. But now Mu Qiqi was thinking about them. For a moment, Huang Yu felt that she was not a human. She was not only stupid but also blind. After that, Huang Yu went to rest. Now the three of them stayed at Yu Jing's house. Her father went out to sketch. Lying in the Yu family, she was really on tenterhooks. She was afraid that Shinlin would really sell the company after Yu Jing's pillow talk tonight. When Mu Qiqi got home, she wrapped her arms around Xing Zhao's neck and kissed his face. You arranged for us to appear in the hotel, didn't you? It wasn't a chance encounter. Xing Zhao carried her to the study and put her on the sofa. You don't like me to appear? Of course I do. Mu Qiqi sat in his arms and gave him the answer. It's just that you've really become my little uncle now. What's the progress with the Shen family? Xing Zhao changed the topic so that she would not think too much. Shenlin was so angry that he said he wanted to transfer the company to Yu Jing. Is there sh*t in his brain? Mu Qiqi could not help but complain. Does he really think that he has found his true love? Xiao, tell me, did I aggravate their conflict and cause the current situation? Don't worry. If you didn't aggravate them, second brother and his family would have been betrayed. They would have to pay for the betrayer. That would be really miserable. At least it's not too late to make up for it. Then Shinlin wants to transfer the company. Even if he really wants to transfer everything to Yu Jing, he needs a lawyer. He needs to go through the procedures. It's not something that can be done in 1 or 2 days. Xing Zhao patted her but to calm her down. It's not a problem at all. So, you still have time to change Shinlin's mind. How did Yu Jing and Rong Junhan contact each other? If it's not a meeting, it must be a communication tool. If second aunt pays attention, she will definitely find out about it. Moreover, Shinlin is blinded by love now. I can't understand other things, but I can understand this. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Zhao deeply. It was because every time something like this happened, she would always think about herself. What would she do if she faced the same situation? You can understand? Isn't it normal for Shinlin to be cheated 8 to 10 times? Xing Zhao snorted. Ugh, was this the contempt of a genius? Since Rong Junhan told you this news, it means that she is not afraid of your investigation. As long as Yu Jing insists that she doesn't know about it, Shinlin will have a reason to believe her and support her. Now, the most important thing is to find out the evidence of them contacting each other. Otherwise, all of Rong Junhan's plans will succeed. She will alienate the Shen family and let her daughter get the company. Moreover, she will take revenge on the Shen family. What will you do if you are in her shoes? Xing Zhao looked at Mu Qiqi playfully. What will you do if you are in Rong Junhan's shoes? Of course, I won't let you find any evidence. So, I will choose to cut off all contact with Yu Jing in a short period of time. But, don't forget that there is another person in the middle? Xing Zhao reminded Mu Qiqi. Yu Jing's father. Mu Qiqi immediately thought of him. If Yu Jing's father is their mouthpiece, Shinlin will not suspect anything. Second aunt said that Yu Jing's father has gone out to sketch. Xing Zhao could not help but laugh when he heard that. Sketch. He's probably with Rong Junhan now. Can Jing Yun find their location? Do you think Jing Yun is a tracker or a hound? Xing Zhao could not help but laugh. It's best to let the paparazzi do this kind of thing. To change Shinlin's mind, they must let him see Yu Jing's true colors. But now, he was completely immersed in his wife's tenderness. The whole family was worried about him. Grandpa Shin took some time to visit his eldest son. He told Shin Jianchuan about what happened in the Shin family. Now Shin Jianchuan had recovered a little. He could speak more fluently. Father, why don't you let Shinlin learn his lesson? Grandpa Shin did not understand what Shin Jianchuan meant. Shinlin was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His life has always been smooth sailing. He will grow up if he suffers a little. Otherwise, he will have a rebellious mentality no matter how you teach him. He will be just like me in the past. Do you want second brother to give the company to Rong Junhan? Grandpa Shin stared at him. Of course, I don't mean that, Shin Jianchuan laughed. Alright, you're doing rehabilitation training now. You don't have to worry about this. You're just like Xing Xiao. You look arrogant and despotic, but you're full of schemes. You just want to see Shinlin fall, right? You want to help your daughter, don't you? Chapter 185. To Shin Jingyun and Huang Yu, they did not want to see their son drift further away from them and be deceived by Yu Jing. But to Shinlin, the entire Shin family seemed to have been bewitched by Mu Qiqi. They were all against him and his delicate wife. So, to show his support for his wife, he contacted the lawyer the next morning. He was really going to transfer the rest of the companies to Yu Jing. Huang Yu could not help but pull Shinlin aside when she saw her son making the call. She said, I don't mind if you want to support Xiao Jing. But if you give all of them to Xiao Jing, what will happen to us when we grow old? Xiao Jing will be filial to you, said Shinlin. I have discussed with Xiao Jing last night. Mom, don't worry. Xiao Jing will not mistreat you. We will be the same as before. Huang Yu shook her head. I just feel disappointed. You are willing to bet the rest of our lives for Xiao Jing. Mom, don't you believe in Xiao Jing? I believe her. But, it is a fact that you are unfilial. After Huang Yu finished speaking, she retreated to the side. For a moment, she also wanted to give up on her son's matter. She didn't want to ask him if he was really cheated. However, if she really wanted to give these things to others, Huang Yu felt unwilling. Why should she? At that moment, Shinlin was a little hesitant. But he had already said it. He swore in his heart that he would take good care of his mother in the future. But he had never thought of leaving a guarantee for his parents. Yu Jing was really happy. She did not expect Shinlin to be so gullible. He was so loyal to her. If he was not a man from the Shin family, she would not be able to find a man like him. Mom, don't worry. I promised Shinlin that I will treat you like my own mother. So, please believe me. Huang Yu could not look at Yu Jing. She turned around and went back to her room. As long as you are happy. Let's wait for 2 more days. Xiao Jing, wait for the lawyer to finish all the paperwork. Then I will tell the Shin family that you are the most important person to me. No one can bully you. Did Shinlin really think that the Shin family would care if he gave the companies to Yu Jing? The Shins did not care about money. To Huang Yu and her husband, as long as it was not Rong Junhan, they could give it to anyone. They would even give it to a beggar. Huang Yu was very sad. So her son was actually like this. She had never realized it before. Did she spoil him too much? Then Huang Yu sent the news to the Shin family. The Shin family was furious. They all told Huang Yu to go home. She didn't have to suffer this injustice. As for Jing Yun, he had arranged many paparazzi to follow Rong Junhan. Of course, they were all famous people in the industry. There would be news about them in less than a day. As expected, Jing Yun replied the next morning. I got something. Then he sent a photo to Rong Junhan. It showed that Rong Junhan and Mr. Yu had left the house at 3 o'clock in the morning. They went to a 24-hour shop to buy some daily necessities. Then they went back to the villa on the hillside. With these photos, even if they could not prove that Yu Jing and Rong Junhan were in contact, they could still prove that Yu Jing's father was in contact with Rong Junhan. It would be perfect if he could get more information from the Yu family's investigation. Jing Yun had put in a lot of effort. But he still needed time to get the result. Now that Mu Qiqi had the photos, she only needed to stop Shinlin from signing the transfer agreement. Then she would give him a severe blow to wake him up completely. But Shinlin was afraid that the Shin family would stop him. So, he decided to deal with this matter quickly so that Yu Jing would not have any worries. After Huang Yu saw what he was doing, she couldn't stand it anymore. She grabbed Shinlin and gave Yu Jing a tight slap. Are you going to see my son break up with me? Are you going to be happy? Mother? I didn't. Yu Jing covered her face. Her eyes were filled with tears. You didn't stop me? You just want the Shin family's assets, right? Mother. How could you do this to Xiao Jing? I insisted on giving the company to her. How dare you hit her? Shinlin, your father and I have done our duty as parents to raise you up. But today, I don't want you as my son anymore. How could you give your parents' assets to a woman like her? What are we? Mother, Xiao Jing, don't tell me that she will be filial to me. Just wait and see. When she gets the company she will dump you. Huang Yu said and turned around. Just pretend that I don't have you as my son. I'm so sad. Shenlin did not ask Huang Yu to stay. After all, he knew that his mother would not be angry at him. But it was a pity that Huang Yu was really angry this time. She went back to the Shin family and cried loudly in her husband's arms. She felt better when she saw Mu Qiqi at night. Mu Qiqi is my daughter from now on. I don't care about that bastard anymore. Second aunt, don't say that out of anger. I'm not saying that out of anger. Huang Yu snorted. If we can get those companies back, I will give them to Mu Qiqi. Are you serious? Grandpa Shin frowned and looked at her. I swear. I'm serious. Look at Mu Qiqi. She was bullied by me. But now she is helping me. Her own son is so inhumane. Second aunt, don't worry. We will solve this problem soon. Because we have the photos of Yu Jing's father and Rong Junhan living together. In order to prevent any accidents, second uncle has asked Shenlin's lawyer to come over today. He told the lawyer about the situation at home. The lawyer said that he is willing to help the Shin family to avoid being cheated. So, the contract will not take effect even if brother Shenlin signs it tomorrow. Let's see how Yu Jing will react then. So you're saying that everything is ready? Huang Yu asked. Her eyes were filled with eagerness. She wanted to tear off Yu Jing's mask of hypocrisy. The plan to fight back is ready. But you must be prepared. You will lose your daughter-in-law. If Shenlin learns a lesson from this, he will be lucky. But if he is still so stubborn, I can't do anything about it. Fortunately, Mu Qiqi suggested to ask the lawyer to help us. If he really helps us, we must repay him in the future, Shin Jinyun said. Let's watch the show tomorrow. Mu Qiqi went to the hospital to visit Shin Jianchuan after discussing with the others. She was happy to see her father recovering well. I believe that you will be able to get out of bed and walk soon. Qiqi, teach the bad guy a lesson. I will support you, Dad. Actually, I have done all these. It was all because she wanted to be with Xiao Xiao better. But she could not say it out loud at this moment. In her world, Xing Xiao was everything. Chapter 186. They had to prepare a lot of documents to transfer the ownership of the company. If the lawyer was fast, he could prepare everything in a few days. Then Shenlin and Yu Jing would go to the bureau to change the legal person. Soon, those companies would no longer belong to the Shin family. Shenlin was naive. He dared to transfer the company to Yu Jing because he believed that it was their joint property. Even if Yu Jing wanted to take it, she would not take all of it. But he did not know that Rong Junhan had already planned everything. She just needed to set up a trap to accuse him of having an affair. Then she could ask him to leave the Shin family with nothing. If she did not have such a plan, how could she be considered as someone who had schemed against the Shin family for so many years? Now, the more the Shin family targeted Yu Jing, the more Shenlin wanted to prove his determination. Even when Huang Yu left him, he still insisted on giving the company to her. He did not think about his parents at all, because he thought that his parents had worked so hard for their whole lives. So, they should give him the company eventually. Otherwise, why did they work so hard? He thought that Shin Jinyun and Huang Yu were deceived by Mu Qiqi. So, he wanted to settle the matter as soon as possible because he was afraid that there would be more problems. But the Shin family did not appear in front of him when the lawyer was preparing the documents. It seemed that what Huang Yu said was true. Did they not want to acknowledge him as their son anymore? Yu Jing saw Shenlin was silent. She was afraid that he would change his mind. So she tried to persuade him. Are you afraid that your parents will be angry? You're their baby. They won't be angry with you easily. But the Shin family did not do anything these few days. Maybe the elders of the Shin family are helping me. Yu Jing hugged Shenlin's head and said, I will treat you better in the future. That's true. Grandpa has Mu Qiqi now. He won't care about me anymore. Thinking of this, Shenlin put away his fear and became more determined. Xiao Jing, fortunately we can go through with the procedures tomorrow. Silly girl. I love you no matter what. Well, only Shenlin believed that. The Shin family did not do anything. Although Rong Junhan was curious about it, she believed that the Shin family could not do anything about it anymore. So she just let Shenlin deal with it. Anyway, it was just a few companies. The second son, Shin Jinyun, did not rely on these few companies to make a living, but it was enough for his family. He knew that Yu Jing was her daughter and that Yu Jing was lying to Shenlin, but Shenlin refused to believe it. This feeling was really worth celebrating with a glass of red wine. But she did not know that the Shin family had already made all the preparations to fight back. Tomorrow would be a good day to expose Yu Jing. The Shins knew that Xin Lin and Yu Jing would be going to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce to settle the paperwork tomorrow. Moreover, they had booked a VIP room. Therefore, Xin Jinyun and Huang Yu dressed up early in the morning. They wanted to give Xin Lin a surprise today. Mu Qiqi had told the two elders that they must go there 1 hour later than Xin Lin. She deliberately waited for them to finish the procedures. She must let Xin Lin and Yu Jing believe that what was done was done. There was no turning back. In this way, Yu Jing might give herself away. She might think that her plan had succeeded. She might not be willing to continue to lie to Xin Lin. Therefore, Xin Lin brought his lawyer and Yu Jing to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce. Everything went smoothly. He did not know that the staff at the Bureau of Industry and Commerce was actually entrusted by the Shins. Although Xin Lin and Yu Jing had submitted the documents and signed the documents, the staff did not accept them. Because the Shins told the staff at the Bureau of Industry and Commerce that they might be involved in fraud, the staff arranged this show. According to the procedure, the legal person would be changed within 5 to 10 working days. Then a new legal person's license would be issued. But in Yu Jing's heart at this point, the Xin family could no longer be changed. Especially when they saw Huang Yu and Xin Jinyun at the lobby of the Bureau of Industry and Commerce when they were about to leave. Xin Lin's expression changed. It was because he saw Huang Yu covering her face and crying. She immediately rushed over and grabbed her son's arms, saying, "Are you done? Did you really give the company to this bitch?" "Well, she's my wife. I won't allow you to say that about her." "Are you still protecting her?" Huang Yu said. Then she took out some photos from her bag and threw them to Xin Lin. "Look at them yourself." Xin Lin took the photos and flipped through them. Then he saw that Rong Junhan was living with his father-in-law. But he still sided with Yu Jing. So he raised the photos and said to Huang Yu, "What does this mean? Mom, aren't you making a big deal out of this?" After Xin Lin said that, Xin Jinyun had already slapped him. "Wake up. How can Yu Jing not know that Rong Junhan is living with this Yu family man? You just don't want to believe that this family is a liar, right?" "Dad." Xin Lin was shocked. Because he had never been slapped by his father before. "Yu Jing, do you really not know?" Xin Jinyun did not want to talk to his son anymore. Instead he looked at Yu Jing and asked. But Yu Jing never thought that her parents would be secretly photographed. So she did not know how to answer. "Do you dare to say that you don't know?" When Yu Jing wanted to say something, she received a message from her phone. Yu Jing panicked. She wanted everyone to ignore it. But Huang Yu grabbed her handbag and took out her phone. Then she saw the message from Papa Yu. "Is the transfer of the company done?" Huang Yu showed it to Xin Lin when she saw the message. "It seems that your father is very concerned about the transfer of the company. Papa Yu never liked to ask about this kind of thing. He was obsessed with his paintings. But he sent a message at this time." Xin Lin finally looked at Yu Jing suspiciously. "Xiao Jing, what's going on?" "I'm just concerned about you. Your father doesn't even care about our marriage. Why is he concerned about the transfer of the company?" Xin Lin asked. "You said that you will always believe in me." Yu Jing knew that she could not explain it. So she could only play the emotional card. "How would I know why my father sent me such a message? I really don't know." At that moment, Papa Yu sent another message. "Let us know when the transfer of the company is done." This time Xin Lin saw it with his own eyes. "Which us?" Yu Jing frowned. She did not expect that things would turn out this way. Anyway, she could not hide it anymore. So she did not bother to serve this family anymore. "You are so rude. My phone is such a private thing. How can you touch it?" Xin Lin was shocked when he heard what Yu Jing said. He looked at Yu Jing in disbelief. "What did you say?" Chapter 187. Xiao Jing, your parents are right. My mother and I have been in cahoots for a long time. My mother was the one who arranged for me to meet you for the first time. Otherwise, do you think that there are so many coincidences in this world? Do you think that we can meet each other every day? Yu Jing kept the things. She smiled when she saw that Huang Yu was going to eat her alive. "I'm warning you. This is a public place. If you dare to hurt me here, I will definitely call the police." Xin Lin had never thought that a person could turn into a complete stranger in the blink of an eye. "You admit it?" Huang Yu asked angrily. "Yes, I admit it. But what can you do to me? The procedures have been completed. The Industrial and Commercial Bureau has accepted the case. Everything has gone through the legal process. Do you still want to change it?" "We don't need you anymore, Xin Lin." After that, Yu Jing wanted to leave quickly. However, Xin Lin stopped her. "Xiao Jing, did you say that because you were forced to do so?" Yu Jing was impatient. She shook off Shenlin's hand and stared at him angrily. Are you an idiot? Shenlin, do you know how stupid you are? Do you know how stupid you are in bed? You don't know. You only know how to ask for things from your parents. Yes, you are infatuated and you treat me very well. But think about it yourself. What part of you is worthy of being liked by others from the beginning to the end? You are impatient. You have no achievements. You don't have any skills. You rely on your family background to show off. You have never spent a single cent on your company. So, I don't feel guilty at all for lying to you. Are you even a man? Shenlin was dumbfounded. Yu Jing had said that he wasn't a man in front of so many people. She had even told everyone about their sexual intercourse. Men could not stand to be questioned about their ability in bed. However, the people around them looked at him as if they were watching a joke. Just wait for the divorce. Yu Jing sneered when she saw that Shenlin was dumbfounded. She glanced at Huang Yu and her husband before she turned around and continued walking. This whole family is a bunch of fools. They are hopeless. Shenlin was embarrassed. He then thought of canceling the procedures to change the legal person. However, the staff at the information desk told him, the cases that have been accepted cannot be cancelled. If you regret, you can negotiate with the other party. You can also file a lawsuit in court after the case is over. This is mine. I said I won't give it to you. Why can't I? Shenlin widened his eyes and shook the little girl at the information desk. This is the rule. Otherwise, do you think this is a market? You'll change as soon as you say so. Shenlin was devastated. He still wanted to chase after Yu Jing, but Yu Jing was nowhere to be found. Who asked him to write Yu Jing's name when he bought a car? No, this was a dream. Otherwise, how could a person change so quickly? Shenlin still couldn't believe it. He wanted to chase after Yu Jing, but Shen Jingyun stopped him. He slapped Shenlin's face 3 times. Are you awake? Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? Shenlin's head was buzzing. He really didn't expect that he would be cheated. He was so confident, so trusting of Yu Jing and so devoted to her. Yet, Yu Jing said that he wasn't a man? Shenlin knelt on the ground in front of his parents. At this moment, his whole life collapsed. Didn't you trust that woman? Didn't you want to give everything you have to someone else? Are you okay now? Shenlin was in a daze. He hugged Huang Yu's right leg. Apart from disbelief, there were only tears in his eyes. Shen Jingyun didn't want to be embarrassed anymore. He immediately said to Huang Yu, bring this bastard back first. He doesn't want us anymore. Why should I care about him? Huang Yu pretended to be cruel. Mom, I didn't do it on purpose. I really didn't do it on purpose. Fortunately, everything was in time. Otherwise, the mother and daughter from the Rong family would be very proud of themselves. She looked at Shenlin. Although Yu Jing was despicable, what she said about her son was true. Huang Yu was reflecting on herself. Of course, the 3 of them did not stay in the living room for long. Soon they returned to the Shen family. After they entered the house, Shenlin knelt in front of Grandpa Shen willingly. Grandpa Shen glanced at him and drank his tea leisurely. What? You were not like this when you left the Shen family. Grandpa, I'm wrong. I'm really wrong. How could I trust a vicious woman so much? Shenlin confessed and slapped himself. I'm so wrong. It's meaningless for you to apologize to me. You should apologize to your parents. You've hurt your mother's heart. Shenlin turned around and looked at Huang Yu. However, Huang Yu was unwilling to look at him. Just take it that I've raised an ingrate. Mom, please forgive me. I'm too stupid. I can't see a person clearly. Huang Yu felt sorry for her son. However, she listened to Mu Qiqi. She must hold it in and not give Shenlin any chance. So, she decided not to look at her son. She said to Grandpa Shen, Dad, I'm going back to my room. Go ahead. Grandpa Shen nodded. Mom, Shenlin, you must be clear. We used to give you the things that your father and I fought for. But now we can't do that. Don't even think about using our money. You can do whatever you want. You have to earn your own money. We've spent so much effort to raise you. But what about you? You're relying on someone else. From now on, we'll draw a clear line. Whenever you want to rely on the Shen family, you'll be borrowing it. You must return it. After that, Huang Yu left without looking back. Shenlin had no sense of boundaries. So, he felt that it was natural for him to rely on his parents. However, Mu Qiqi wanted Huang Yu to teach Shenlin about that. He did not have the right to use his parents' things without their consent, because it was the most basic morality of a person. Shenlin lowered his head and cried in regret. But no one was watching his performance. Grandpa Shen snorted coldly. Then he went to his fish pond and continued his leisurely life. So Shin Lin knelt in the living room of the Shin family. He felt better doing that. He was punishing himself. Meanwhile, Huang Yu went back to the bureau. She wanted to confirm that Shin Lin's change of legal person was invalid. After getting the answer, Huang Yu felt relieved. She called Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, everything went well. When the Rong family knows about this, their expressions will be very interesting. I can already imagine it. Mu Qiqi said mischievously. Chapter 188. Huang Yu came back and saw Shin Lin still kneeling in the living room. She looked at his back and felt sorry for him. So she walked to him and said, "Maybe it's because of our genes. That's why we can't see clearly." Shin Lin did not say anything. "It's meaningless for you to kneel here. Go back to your room." Shin Lin did not move. Huang Yu took a deep breath and did not try to persuade him anymore. She went back to her room. Although Rong Junhan was hateful, she had always supported Rong Junhan the most. So, at the end of the day, she was no better than her son. "How's the Industrial and Commercial Bureau?" Huang Yu answered quickly when she heard her husband's question. "Don't worry. The Industrial and Commercial Bureau did not accept it." Shin Jinyun nodded. "We're lucky this time. If Mu Qiqi did not help us, things would not have gone so smoothly. We owe her a thank you and an apology." Huang Yu knew it too. She sighed in her heart. No wonder Grandpa Shin dotes on Mu Qiqi. She deserves it. Look at our unfilial son. Forget it. Let's wait and see Rong Junhan's ugly face. She lied to us for so many years. I really want to skin her alive. No matter if Huang Yu dared to skin Rong Junhan or not, she would definitely skin Mu Qiqi alive. She made her father lie in bed for so many years. She must get revenge on Shin Jianchuan no matter what. At night, when Xing Xiao returned home, he saw Mu Qiqi throwing herself at him. He quickly caught the little one, held her round and brought her into the living room. "Why are you so passionate?" Rong Junhan and her daughter were fooled. Mu Qiqi said to Xing Xiao proudly. Xing Xiao smiled and put her on the sofa. Then he took off his dark blue suit jacket and sat beside her. "Now I think Qi can do whatever she wants to them. If it's possible, I want her to lie in bed for 8 to 10 years. As for Yu Jing, I heard that she was just like Chanshan's mistress by Xinlan, when she was at the Bureau of Industry and Commerce. She lied to the other party and still thought that she was helping the people. Why are these people's views so strange?" The biggest reason why Xing Xiao loved Mu Qiqi was that no matter what Mu Qiqi went through, she could always remain true to herself. Never distort yourself. Now that he saw Mu Qiqi in high spirits, he could not help but hug his woman and said, "Perhaps your wish can come true. Turn her into a vegetable?" Xing Xiao laughed and stroked Mu Qiqi's hair. "Don't you mind getting your hands dirty? There's another way." Xiao, I was just joking. Don't take it seriously." She and Rong Junhan were not the same kind of people. Idiot. Xing Xiao held the little one in his arms and deeply inhaled her scent. However, he smelled something strange. "Why is it so smelly?" I'm going to observe the anatomy class." Then she looked up and asked, "There will be rotten limbs, organs, maggots in the future. Will you despise me?" "I'll catch you and wash you 10 times a day." Xing Xiao was a bit of a neat freak, but it varied from person to person. If Mu Qiqi smelled bad because of the autopsy, he would not have despised her at all. In fact, he would have felt a little proud. "Look, she's my woman. When your daughter, the rich lady, is shopping, she is doing things that men may not be able to do. Serving society. That was the ultimate value of human existence." Mu Qiqi smiled brightly. Because she knew that even if everyone despised her in this world, Xing Xiao would not. Because he was a man who truly understood life and had a broad vision. As she watched, Mu Qiqi couldn't help but lean forward and give him a kiss. That kiss made Xing Xiao pull her onto his body and straddle her. Soon they were not satisfied with just kissing. Xing Xiao's eyes darkened with desire. He wanted to bring Mu Qiqi back to the bedroom. But Mu Qiqi held him down and said, "Right here? Xing Xiao's voice was hot. It was even a little scorching. "I said right here." It was easy to take off the skirt and the underwear. Everything happened in a split second. But Xing Xiao did not move. He was restraining his desire. "Go up and get the condom." "Okay." Mu Qiqi nodded. She would not do it easily. Xing Xiao had told her more than once that she should not let any accidents happen until the right time. Because abortion was too harmful to the body. So, they ended it in the bedroom even though it started in the living room. Because Xing Xiao had strong self-control. If a man truly loved a woman, he would think of everything for her. He would not let her get hurt at all. At that moment, Rong Junhan and Yu Jing were having a celebration dinner at home. It was Rong Junhan and Yu Jing's proudest achievement that they managed to get Shin Jinyun's companies. Cheers, cheers. The three of them were proud of themselves, especially Yu Jing. Mom, can we carry out our new plan now? Let Shinlin leave the family with nothing. Did you take any pictures when you were abroad? Did you do what I asked you to do? Of course. Yu Jing took out her phone and smiled happily. I invited a few foreign women to lie beside him naked. He even hugged one of them and slept with her for the whole night. Did they have sex? I've drugged him so strongly. Of course it happened. The evidence is in my phone. After saying that, Yu Jing put her phone back to where it was. Well done. It would be perfect if this foreign woman could get pregnant. But it was a pity that the mother and daughter had made their plans too early. A few days later, when Yu Jing called the Bureau of Industry and Commerce to ask why the new license had not been issued, she would know that the Shin family's company was not something that she could take over as she pleased. At that time, her expression would be interesting. It was late at night. Shinlin was still kneeling in the living room. Grandpa Shin could not stand it anymore. He walked to his grandson and pulled him up. Then he put him on the chair. I'm a man of the Shin family. Just admit your mistake. I've forgiven your eldest uncle even though he had done so many bad things in the past. Are you a sore loser? Shinlin raised his head and looked at Grandpa Shin. His throat felt hot. Grandpa, what else can I do? Chapter 189. But Grandpa, what will happen after that? Shinlin's tears flowed down from the corner of his eyes. Yu Jing said that I'm a useless person. She looks down on me. Actually, I look down on myself too. If you really want to train yourself, go and join the army. Grandpa Shin patted Shinlin's shoulder and said, show me that you can become a good man. All right. Shinlin nodded. Grandpa Shin's words had helped him find a new direction. Also, the company is still in your hands. Rong and her daughter did not succeed at all. What? Shinlin was confused. He opened his eyes wide and looked at Grandpa Shin. But, Grandpa Shin smiled and explained, it's Chi-Chi. She made the arrangements in advance. She colluded with the people from the Industry and Commerce Bureau and lied to Yu Jing. Actually, your application to change the legal person was not accepted. You misunderstood Chi-Chi. Apologize to her later. Why did she help you so much? Shinlin's tears flowed down even more when he heard that. Chi-Chi is only 18. Yes. She could come up with such an idea at 18. What about you? Shinlin wiped his tears and mustered up his courage again. Grandpa, don't worry. I've disappointed you in the past. I won't do it again. Grandpa Shin nodded and comforted him. Go to sleep. It's not too late to make amends. So, the next morning, Shinlin and Huang Yu went to the Industry and Commerce Bureau again to change the legal person. This time he was very serious and did not hesitate. Mom, you're right. I've relied on the Shin family for everything for so many years. I've done a lot of things to let you down. From now on, I'll rely on my own ability and be filial to you. For Huang Yu to be able to see this scene, she was already very gratified. As long as you're sensible. Mom, come with me to the police station again. Huang Yu nodded and accompanied Shinlin to the police station to report the case. She told the police everything. The police gave Shinlin a suggestion based on his situation. Fortunately, your family is smart. They prevented you from losing any assets. But, because of your situation, the police can only mediate between the two of you and help you get a divorce. Can't she be sentenced? The police shook their heads. The law in this country is not perfect yet. So, it's hard to hold her responsible. No matter what, calling the police is always the smartest thing to do. Shinlin was very disappointed. He really hoped that the mother and daughter would receive the punishment they deserved. After all, they had cheated him of his feelings. Would it end just like that? Huang Yu saw his unwillingness and quickly said to him, there's no hurry. Let's go back and discuss. We'll definitely send that mother and daughter to the 18th level of hell. Mom, after a few days when I'm better, can you invite Chi-Chi over? I would like to sincerely apologize. Seeing that her son was really sensible, Huang Yu smiled and said, okay, Mom will help you. Also, after this matter is settled, I want to join the army while I'm still young. Mom supports you too. This was because Huang Yu knew very well that Shinlin could only gain a strong willpower by going to the army. Only then would he be able to forget his sorrows faster. For the next few days, Shinlin was adjusting his condition. Huang Yu also called Mu Chi-Chi and asked her to have dinner at Shin Mansion on Friday. Thinking about what happened to Shinlin, Mu Chichi could not blame him for his arrogant attitude. So she agreed to Huang Yu's request. As for the police, they were still investigating the matter. Moreover, they could not contact Yu Jing. So they could not find her. However, Yu Jing was very concerned about the new legal person license. When the 5 working days were up, she immediately called the Bureau of Industry and Commerce to ask if the license was ready. But the Bureau of Industry and Commerce could not find any information about her. "I'm sorry, Miss Yu. The computer does not have the information you provided. It's impossible. My husband and I came to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce to complete the transfer 5 days ago. I've checked several times. It's really not available. I'm sorry. You can ask your husband." "What's with your attitude? Be careful or I'll file a complaint against you." "If you can't find anything, then you can. Feel free to file a complaint." After that, the person hung up the phone. Yu Jing did not give up. She called again. But the person who answered the phone still gave the same answer. Yu Jing panicked. She called Rong Junhan immediately. When Rong Junhan knew about it, she brought Yu Jing to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce personally. But, not to mention the documents, even the staff who handled the registration that day was gone. The people in the Bureau of Industry and Commerce looked at the mother and daughter strangely. Yu Jing finally felt that something was wrong. She said to Rong Junhan angrily, "Mom, it's a scam. Are you saying that we've been deceived by the Shin family? It's possible. Otherwise, how can we explain this?" Rong Junhan thought for a while and nodded. "Bring your video. Let's go to the Shin family." The mother and daughter were very angry. How could they forget that they were liars? They even wanted to go to the Shin family and cause trouble. Yu Jing called Shinlin first. But Shinlin had already changed his number. "Bastard. How dare you do this to me? Let's go to the Shin family directly." Rong Junhan was quite arrogant. Because Yu Jing still had the evidence of Shinlin's trouble. Even if they were going to divorce in the future, she was confident that she could make Shinlin leave the Shin family with nothing. So, Shinlin's company would still be given to Yu Jing. But she did not expect that Shinlin would transfer the company to Shin Jinyun the next day. In other words, Shinlin was just a poor man now. The Shin family did not expect that the mother and daughter from the Rong family would be so shameless. How dare they come to the Shin family? Huang Yu was the first to tremble in anger. But Grandpa Shin was very calm. He immediately called Xiao Qi and asked her to go to the Shin family since she had no classes in the afternoon. Then, the Shin family did not let the mother and daughter from the Rong family enter the house immediately. They asked them to wait outside the door. After a while they let them in. Rong Junhan knew that the Shin family liked this kind of trick. So she smiled when she saw the Shin family. "I never expected that you're so stingy. Your son said that he would give the company to my daughter. But, why do you have to put on a show in front of us when it's time to transfer the company? I'm giving you a taste of your own medicine. So you and your daughter are allowed to lie to us?" Grandpa Shin snorted. "You've been humiliated in the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, haven't you? My meticulous plan was guarded against by all of you. It can be said that the Shin family is very powerful. But can you make a guess? What else can my daughter use to blackmail Shinlin?" Rong Junhan sat down on the chair elegantly. Her demeanor made people want to slap her face. "I think you've come up with a new trick after you failed to cheat the company." It was Mu Chichi who said that. It was because Xingting University was not far from the Shin family. So Mu Chichi came in time to watch the show. Whether it's a new trick or not, we'll know after we watch the video. Then Rong Junhan took out her phone. But Mu Chichi stopped her from taking it back. "Madam Rong, please listen to me before you play the video. You have to think carefully. The person you are trying to blackmail is penniless." Rong Junhan looked at Mu Chichi. Chapter 190. The company is still here. Who are you trying to fool? Company? Are you still thinking about other people's company? Of course they have changed the legal person. Are they waiting for you to snatch it? Mu Chichi walked in front of everyone and smiled at Rong Junhan calmly. "I have changed the legal person to me. You can come and ask me for it if you are capable." "You?" Rong Junhan almost lost control of her emotions when she heard that. But she smiled when she thought about it. "So, what's the difference between you and me? Aren't we doing this for the Shin family's things?" "I'm sorry. There is still a difference. If I ask, second uncle and second aunt will definitely give it to me. Am I right? Second uncle and second aunt? Of course. Chichi, you are a member of the Shin family. You are different from those bitches outside. What belongs to second uncle and second aunt is also yours. Huang Yu immediately added. Moreover, you don't need it at all. You have the Xing family behind you. Even if you want the stars in the sky, there will be people who will give it to you. You are not like some people who have been plotting for more than 10 years. After Huang Yu said that, Mu Qiqi looked at Rong Junhan again. But this time her gaze was sharper. She was not like an 18-year-old girl at all. So, do you still want to expose the things in your phone? Let me remind you that you and Yu Jing can never take a single cent from the Shen family. Rong Junhan's face darkened. Because Shenlin was poor now. But even if she could not get anything from Shenlin, she could still blackmail Huang Yu and her husband. Rong Junhan calmed down when she thought about that. You can take away Shenlin's company. But you don't even want your son's reputation? The video in my hand can prove that Shenlin cheated after his marriage. He slept with another woman outside. If this video is spread out, will the Shen family still have any dignity? But Rong Junhan's words did not scare Mu Qiqi. Shenlin loves Yu Jing so much. How could he cheat on her? If you can really take a video, then it must be Yu Jing who set you up. You mother and daughter, one of you hit my father with a car and caused him to be in a vegetative state. The other one cheated Shenlin into a marriage and caused him to be hurt physically and mentally. What you have done are all dishonest things. Take the video and spread it. Let's see if anyone will still believe you. Do you want me to be a good person to the end and help you? Mu Qiqi, you're really eloquent. Rong Junhan did not have the strength to defend herself. She could only pretend to scoff coldly. Oh yes, Shenlin had reported to the police a few days ago. Don't you know that the police are looking for you? Yu Jing. You said that Shenlin is worthless in your eyes. He's not even a man. In my eyes, you're not even human if you lie to such a man. Yu Jing's face darkened. Mu Qiqi, I know I can't win you in an argument, but don't be so arrogant. I'm arrogant. What can you do to me? After all, I'm the real granddaughter of the Shen family, and I have the Xing family behind me. Can you afford to offend me? Who are you? Illegitimate daughter? Bastard? Liar? Or a slut? You. Seeing that both mother and daughter were speechless, Mu Qiqi laughed even more happily. She turned to look at Grandpa Xing. Grandpa, you've seen enough, haven't you? Hurry up. Ask your old friends to come out and settle your grandson's matter. Can you bear to see this shameless mother and daughter riding on your grandson's head? You silly girl, I've already sent someone to investigate this matter. If this mother and daughter have any criminal records, they'll be found out. Moreover, I know how Yu Jing's father, the painter, has been hyping up his paintings all these years and how he played tricks. Rong Junhan's face suddenly turned pale when she mentioned the criminal records. Of course, Yu Jing was not any better. Both mother and daughter had done some things that were out of line. If they were found out, the consequences would be unimaginable. I really did not expect that the Shen family is not only ungrateful, but also distort the truth. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Xiaojing, let's go. Rong Junhan stood up and wanted to leave. But her unusual action reminded Mu Qiqi. Grandpa, investigate further. Do your best. You bad thing. The old man pointed at Mu Qiqi and laughed out loud. Are you in a hurry to leave? Don't you want to play the video anymore? Don't you want to blackmail me? You're crazy. I don't want to talk to you. Then Rong Junhan left with Yu Jing. However, when the two of them walked out of the Shen family's gate, Mu Qiqi said, Yu Jing, I hate it when people cheat their feelings and think that they are so great. Today you hurt the person who loves you the most in the world. You will regret it if you miss him. It's the saddest thing to pay for a relationship. You can imagine what will happen to you. Yu Jing turned and looked at Mu Qiqi. Then Rong Junhan dragged her out of the Shen family. Obviously, Rong Junhan and her daughter had made a wasted trip. Not only did they make a wasted trip, but they also lost all their bargaining chips. Now, it was impossible for them to threaten the Shen family and get any benefits from them. They might even threaten their own interests, because soon the police contacted Yu Jing again. I didn't expect that bastard Shenlin would really call the police. Don't worry. No one will dare to do anything to you. Just go. Rong Junhan was trembling with anger. It's all because of that bitch Mu Qiqi. If not, we would have gotten the Shen family's company. Rong Junhan almost broke the wooden table in front of her. She was so angry. Now the Shen family had the upper hand. She had no chance to fight back. What was more terrible was yet to come. But she could not imagine it. Was Shen Jianchuan so easy to bully? Although he had been lying in bed for more than 10 years, he had already woken up. This debt, as well as the debt of causing Su Ziqing to misunderstand him in the past, was he not going to settle it with her? Although Shenlin was not smart enough to plot against Yu Jing, Mu Qiqi was smart enough. And Xing Xiao, who was behind Mu Qiqi, was even more outrageous. He could trample on that bitch anytime. Seeing Rong Junhan and her daughter leaving in defeat, Huang Yu felt very happy. Dad, Qiqi, I've never seen Rong Junhan leave like that. So satisfying. You've even shown the video. It seems that Rong Junhan has no other trump card. Mu Qiqi walked to Grandpa Shen and sat beside him. Grandpa, we should strike while the iron is hot. It's not easy to find anything wrong with Rong Junhan and her daughter. So we can start from Yu Jing's father. Chapter 191. Grandpa Shen tilted his head and looked at Mu Qiqi. Who taught you all these? What's wrong with me? Mu Qiqi purposely avoided Grandpa Shen's question. If it's not because of your father or Xing Xiao, he's a vicious and evil person. Grandpa Shen pointed at Mu Qiqi and scolded her. I'm influenced by what I see and hear. Jing Yun would sometimes tell me about Sheng. That's why I could more or less learn from him. Mu Qiqi really could not bring herself to call him Uncle Sheng, and so simply skipped it. Father, what's wrong with being like Mu Qiqi? She's smart. She won't suffer. It's bad for us, Huang Yu said. Then she turned to Mu Qiqi. She looked guilty and grateful at the same time. Qiqi, it's all my fault in the past. I apologize to you. I hope you won't hold a grudge against me. Forget it. Although I'm not a generous person, you're not evil. You're just deceived by others. Shenlin wanted to apologize to you a long time ago. I'll go and find him now. Then Huang Yu went to Shenlin's room. But Mu Qiqi pouted. Grandpa, I still have classes. I'll go back to school first. I might not accept his apology. Actually, Shenlin was hiding in the dark. He was already there when Rong Junhan and Rong Junhan entered the Shen family. He was upset when he saw Mu Qiqi defeating Rong Junhan like a god of war, because he knew that he was not as good as an 18-year-old girl. So he did not dare to show up in front of Mu Qiqi. Then he hired a lawyer to prepare the divorce agreement. Then he asked Yu Jing for compensation. He wanted Yu Jing to compensate him for his emotional loss. Even Mu Qiqi knew that she could not give in to her family. How could he continue to be a coward? The lawyer arrived at the Yu family the next day. He told Yu Jing about Shenlin's request. Yu Jing jumped up from her chair after she heard it. Is he crazy? I haven't asked him to compensate me for the loss of my youth. Miss Yu, it depends on the judge's judgment. If it's true, Mr. Shenlin has the right to ask you for compensation. Get lost. Then Miss Yu will see each other in court. That was when Mu Qiqi heard about the interesting matter in the afternoon. She sighed in her heart. Shenlin finally knew how to fight back. Perhaps he was the same as her in the past. As long as he took this step, he would have a brand new life. 2 days later, Rong Junhan's dance school was smashed. No one knew exactly why and who did it. Many people guessed that it was the Shen family or Shenlin. But Mu Qiqi knew that if Shenlin was capable, he would not have endured until now. That was why she told Xing Xiao about her doubts when she got home, hoping that he could clear them up. Xing Xiao merely smiled at that. Don't you have a suitable candidate in mind? It's not Grandpa or Shenlin. Second uncle and second aunt wouldn't do such a thing. Third uncle and third aunt have nothing to do with this. So, could it be him? Mu Qiqi counted with her fingers and asked Xing Xiao for an answer. You already have the answer. Why are you asking me? Xing Xiao asked her playfully, don't you know that he used to be a vengeful person? Mu Qiqi felt that it made sense and nodded. But he can't even say a complete sentence now. That's not important as long as there's money. Rong Junhan owed Xin Jianchuan so much. If he did not seize the chance to get her back, he would feel sorry for himself. If that's the case, then my dad is too cool. Compared to me? Of course you're cooler. After all, he's an old man. Mu Qiqi sat on Xing Xiao's lap. Xiao Xiao, are you jealous? Xing Xiao was absent-minded for a moment as he held Mu Qiqi's butt. Then he answered her seriously, it's because your father is smart that he understood you so easily. And it's also because he's smart that I'm afraid we won't be able to keep our relationship a secret after he recovers. What kind of result do you want? Mu Qiqi asked Xing Xiao because she did not know what she needed to do. She did not know how high the standards of the Sheng family were. Moreover, she did not know whether Xin Jianchuan would agree or disagree. Xing Xiao remained silent for a few seconds. Then he carried Mu Qiqi. I'm not worried that your father will disagree. I'm worried that he will challenge me. Are you afraid of him? Xing Xiao laughed and touched Mu Qiqi's nose. You're right. He is an old man after all. Xin Jianchuan was obviously a slave to his daughter. but he did not have a bottom line. After all, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi were in different generations. Moreover, Xin Jianchuan knew what kind of place the Sheng family was. He wanted his daughter to be free. Of course, he had to find out about it first. Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi guessed that the person was Xin Jianchuan. Destroying Rong Juanhan's dance school was just the first step. The painter named Yu was just fishing for fame. He did not have any real talent at all. All his fame came from Rong Juanhan's money. So, it would be easy to destroy him. So, it was just a piece of cake. Although Xin Jianchuan was lying on the bed all day, the nurses told him all the gossip. Moreover, Grandpa Xin investigated them. So, Xin Jianchuan could find a way to deal with them. Grandpa Xin also guessed that it was his eldest brother. So, he pretended to ask him when the Shens were not around. Did you ask someone to destroy the school? I can't move at all now. Are you lying to me? You still have your friends. What can't you do as long as you can get in touch with them? Grandpa Xin winked at him. Why haven't you changed after so many years? Xin Jianchuan did not deny it. There was nothing to hide in front of his father. He could only answer Grandpa Xin slowly. I've been sick for more than 10 years. I have lost more than 10 years of youth. Let alone destroying a school, this is just the beginning. Rong Junhan owes me. She must pay me back. Grandpa Xin nodded. Qiqi and I will not care about your revenge. Don't drag your daughter into this. I won't let Qiqi know. How can Qiqi not know? That girl is just like you. She is very smart. Grandpa Xin snorted. But there was a hint of satisfaction in his snort. She must be smart. Otherwise she would be bullied. Rong Junhan was the most furious one now. Her years of hard work had been destroyed. She did not know how much she would lose. She guessed that it was the Shen family. But she could not guess which Shen it was. The most likely one was Mu Qiqi. But she felt that it was not Mu Qiqi's style. It was like Xin Jianchuan in his early years. Chapter 192. Not only Rong Juanhan's dance school, but Papa Yu's art gallery was also affected. The news of Yu Jing's deceitful marriage was plastered all over the Yu family's house. It made people understand why Rong Juanhan's dance school was destroyed and Papa Yu's art gallery was destroyed. It was all because Yu Jing cheated people's feelings and money. Rong Junhan and her family were very angry. But they could not find out who did it. They did not know what kind of tricks they had up their sleeves. Yu Jing had to wear a hat and a mask when she went out these 2 days. Because the people around her were all pointing at her and avoiding her. Look, it's that bad auntie. We are not going to school here today. It's that little b** Tisich again. I heard that she cheated a rich young master and made him bankrupt. He will go to hell after he dies. How could she cheat money with that kind of looks? That rich young master is so gullible. Not only that, the Yu family's house was splashed with dog's blood recently. People even wrote b** Tis on the wall of the house. What was worse was that people even smashed the glass with stones. Yu Jing could not bear it anymore. Shenlin is such a coward. How dare he let the Shens treat me like this? He even said that he will love me for the rest of his life. I haven't divorced that bastard yet. Aren't they afraid of being struck by lightning for doing this? Seeing that Yu Jing was so angry, Rong Junhan quickly went to her and sat down beside her. She tried to calm her down. Our plan failed this time. We have lost everything. Xiao Jing, you should find a good family as soon as possible and make plans for your future. What plans do I have? If I see a good man, I will go after him. Yu Jing did not care. She was very confident that she could flirt with men. Last night I saw a handsome man in a nightclub. Girls should not go to that kind of place. Rong Junhan said unhappily. Mom, I restrained myself in order to play the role of a good wife to Shenlin, right? What happened in the end? I did not get anything. So why should I restrain myself? Yu Jing continued to be confident. Anyway, even if Shenlin was gone, there was still a big world with millions of men. Rong Junhan could not control her. She could only let her be. That night, Yu Jing went to the nightclub she went to last night. She wanted to meet the handsome man from before. She had to admit that she was really lucky. She managed to hook such a handsome mixed-race man. The two of them flirted with each other. Yu Jing drank a lot of alcohol. When she woke up the next day, there were 4 or 5 men sleeping beside her. They were all naked. She had no idea that this matter had been deliberately arranged by someone to return an eye for an eye. Perhaps this family did not even know that their own hell had quietly begun. Since Xin Jianchuan had already woken up, then of course he could choose to slowly torture this family of 3. If they did not go crazy, they would not survive. When Mu Chichi went to the hospital to visit her father again, he spoke much better. It seems that in less than a year and a half, you can be completely like a normal person. Mu Chichi smiled at Xin Jianchuan as she scooped some soup for him. Xin Jianchuan was satisfied when he saw his daughter. But he said, I hope that I can lie down forever. Then you can come and see me often. I can also come and see you often when you are well. Actually, Mu Chichi really wanted to know if the series of bad luck that Rong Junhan had experienced was really related to her father. Do you have any questions? Xin Jianchuan could see that his daughter wanted to say something. About Rong Junhan and her daughter. Speaking of this, give the thing under my pillow to Xin Lin. Xin Jianchuan ordered Mu Chichi. What? Mu Chichi reached out her hand and found a small USB flash drive. What's in it? It's not suitable for children. But at least it helped Xin Lin to vent his anger. Mu Chichi nodded and kept the USB flash drive. Then she asked Xin Jianchuan, Dad, how much do you plan to deal with Rong Junhan and her family? Xin Jianchuan could not answer her. He could not answer her. Who knew? Let's see how happy he was. When Mu Chichi saw that he did not speak, she knew that he must be hiding a sinister scheme in his mind. In this aspect, he and Xiao Xiao were too similar. Both of them were people who refused to be taken advantage of, and they would definitely take revenge. Do you have a boyfriend? Mu Chichi was stunned by Xin Jianchuan's sudden question. Mu Chichi did not have time to answer him. But Xin Jianchuan had already noticed something. Does this mean that you have a boyfriend? Whose child is it? Dad, you should drink the soup. Mu Chichi stuffed his mouth with the soup. She stopped him from asking any more questions. Xin Jianchuan did not want to be an annoying father. He just shut his mouth. It was too easy to investigate. But he did not want his daughter to be disappointed in him. After Mu Chichi came out of the hospital, she took the things and went to Xin Mansion. Although Xin Lin did not know how to face her, Mu Chichi was a generous person. She took the initiative to greet him. My father asked me to give this to you. He said that he wants to help you to vent your anger. Xin Lin took the things and looked at Mu Chichi. In the end, he sighed and apologized. I'm sorry for what happened just now. Although I don't like you, you didn't do anything to me. That's a different matter. Mu Chichi replied. Moreover, your task now is to deal with your relationship with Yu Jing. You can settle the score with me in the future. Anyway, you still have a long way to go. Chichi. Thank you. If you really want to thank me, then pluck up your courage and be a decent man. That way I'll look up to you even more. Yu Jing, that bitch, I want to beat her up every time I see her. You should really fight back and let me watch the show. I think it's good too. I'll try. They had been in love for a long time and they had sacrificed so much. It was not easy to let go. Mu Chichi did not force him. After all, it was Xin Lin's personal matter. It had nothing to do with her. But now, when she went to Xin Mansion, apart from Grandpa Xin's love, Huang Yu and Xin Jinyun also served her well. They really treated Mu Chichi like their own daughter. Because of that, Mu Chichi's status in the Xin family rose. Of course, some were happy and some were sad. Seeing that Mu Chichi was so popular, third daughter-in-law started to feel bad. Although she had been as quiet as a chicken over the last few days, quietly observing how things would develop, the old man would probably only remember Mu Chichi as his granddaughter in the end and forget about her own daughter. That was not a good thing. Mu Chichi helped to get rid of Rong Junhan. Of course they should thank her. But they had to be careful. The Xin family asked Mu Chichi to stay for dinner. But Mu Chichi rejected them. She said that she wanted to go home and have dinner with her aunt. But Su Zipei and Lu Wenhua were together now. She did not need to be the third wheel anymore. But Mu Chichi insisted. So, the Xin family did not ask her to stay. Chapter 193. Grandpa Xin looked at Mu Chichi's back as she left. His expression was unfathomable. Mu Chichi was not in a relationship. She and Xing Xiao had been living together for some time now, and they had sex almost every night. She was thirsty for more. She rushed home because Xing Xiao told her that he would bring her to a new place for a date. So many things had happened recently. They did not have the chance to go out and have fun. Xing Xiao was also in a hurry. Mama Sheng could still see her son's figure in Huang Yao. But in the next second, she could only see his yellow sports car speeding past. Mama Sheng sighed helplessly. But when she turned around, she saw Jing Yun. Jing Yun saw Mama Sheng too. At that moment, he regretted that he did not leave the company 5 minutes later. Jing Yun, what is Xing Xiao busy with these days? He always comes and goes in a hurry. Madam, I'm not sure. Isn't young master always like this? Jing Yun was still trying to avoid the topic. You're right. By the way, you should bring the girl from the Shin family who doesn't share the same surname as you. She's quite popular these days. She helped old Shin solve Rong Junhan's problem. I'd like to meet such an amazing 18-year-old girl. Yes, madam. The Shin family and the Sheng family had a good relationship. Mama Sheng had met all the members of the Shin family. So she was curious when Mu Qiqi appeared. She wanted to hear about her interesting stories. But she did not know that this 18-year-old girl was her daughter-in-law. Actually, Jing Yun was also very anxious. He was not as calm as he looked. He was afraid that Mu Qiqi would not know her place and leave a bad impression on the Sheng family. Then it would be harder for her to marry into the Shin family. But he could not find an excuse when Madame asked him again and again, could he? Did he think that Xing Xiao did not have a good plan? At night, Xing Xiao drove Mu Qiqi. When they went out, he asked her to wear a black miniskirt with high heels and put on makeup. Mu Qiqi saw Xing Xiao wearing a blue striped suit. He looked very formal. She could not help but ask, "Who are we going to meet?" "We are going to an art exhibition. Are you interested?" Xing Xiao said mysteriously. "Who is going to hold an art exhibition at night?" Xing Xiao smiled. His handsome face looked especially sexy and charming at that moment. Soon they arrived at the Black Maple Gallery. However, Xing Xiao did not bring Mu Qiqi in. Instead, they sat down at the Western restaurant opposite the gallery. Since he had booked the whole place and the restaurant was open air, they could clearly see the opposite side. Hence, Xing Xiao was in a good mood. But Mu Qiqi was puzzled. She held her chin and looked at him. "Are you not going to tell me anything? Papa Yu is holding an art exhibition here today. So, I brought you here to watch a show." Xing Xiao picked up the glass of red wine and aimed it at the gallery opposite. "How did you know there would be a good show?" "Because I trust my instincts." Xing Xiao pointed at his head. "Why did Papa Yu have to be so careful?" "It was because he was afraid that someone would come and cause trouble again. His own gallery was destroyed, and now he wanted to borrow someone else's gallery for the exhibition. Moreover, he decided to hold the exhibition at night. This was to ensure that everything would go smoothly during the exhibition. By keeping a low profile, it was not easy to attract attention. However, to his surprise, a group of reporters came to the art exhibition. When they saw Papa Yu, they went up to him to interview him. "Mr. Yu, I heard that your daughter is suspected of marriage fraud. Is it true?" "Mr. Yu, I heard that you and your lover from many years ago had an affair and worked together to cheat the Shin family's company. Is that true?" "Mr. Yu, there are rumors that your paintings were created through improper means. What do you think of it?" Papa Yu was surrounded by the reporters. He immediately called the security guards. But there were too many reporters and the security guards were limited. In the end, Papa Yu could only shout, "Nonsense! You are all talking nonsense. Where did you hear that? Do you believe that I can sue you for slander?" "Mr. Yu, you can sue us if you want. But you have to answer our question first. It seems that the gallery opposite is very lively." Xing Xiao smiled as he elegantly cut the beef. "I saw a lot of reporters there." Mu Qiqi saw it clearly. "There are about a dozen of them. I'm afraid that the security guards in the gallery are not enough." Soon Papa Yu could not take it anymore. He asked the security guards to clear the way for him. He wanted to leave first. However, the reporters rushed out of the art gallery and pushed Papa Yu down the stairs. The stairs were not high, but Papa Yu rolled into the middle of the road. If the driver did not stop the car in time, he would have died under the wheels. Although his life was not in danger, he was seriously injured. Soon, Papa Yu was sent to the hospital. "Almost, little rascal, are you feeling sorry for him?" Xing Xiao asked, amused. "I don't want to kill him. It's not bad to break his limbs and let him suffer." Xing Xiao put the steak on her plate and pinched her nose. "Hurry up and eat. Once you finish eating, I will fulfill your wish." In fact, Papa Yu's hand was crushed by the wheels. It was just that Mu Qiqi did not see it. Moreover, it was his right hand. When he was sent to the emergency room, Papa Yu was diagnosed with a comminuted fracture of the last 3 fingers on his right hand. Although it could be cured, it would leave a sequela if it was not cured. Rong Junhan and Yu Jing arrived at the hospital soon. When they saw Papa Yu's hand, they asked quickly, "How did he get a comminuted fracture?" Reporters. "It's all those damn reporters' fault. It must be the Shin family's doing." Papa Yu shouted in pain. "The Shin family wants to torture us bit by bit. They don't want us to live well." Rong Junhan turned around angrily after she heard that. "Xiaojing, take care of your father. I will go to the Shin family." But who would admit that it was the Shin family? Soon Mu Qiqi knew about Papa Yu's injury. She looked at Xing Xiao in surprise. You really got a fracture, idiot. Xing Xiao looked at her in disdain. But there was a hint of affection in his eyes. Now that Papa Yu is injured, I'm afraid Rong Junhan will go to the Shin family. Let your grandfather deal with it. We just need to watch the show. I'm afraid that this family will go crazy soon. Xing Xiao believed in Shin Jianchuan's ability to torture people. Moreover, they had a grudge for more than 10 years. Because Shin Jianchuan was not torturing Rong Junhan and her family physically. Instead, he was destroying their minds bit by bit. Everything they did was not going well. Moreover, they were being troubled everywhere. Their living conditions were getting worse. Chapter 194. Rong Junhan drove straight to Shin Mansion from the hospital. But Grandpa Shin had ordered the sentries to not let anyone from the Rong family enter Shin Mansion as they pleased after she came with Yu Jing to make a scene. So, it was almost impossible for Rong Junhan to enter Shin Mansion. Rong Junhan was furious. But she was stopped at the gate of the Shin family. She was not happy. She pointed at the guard at the gate and scolded, "You old bastard! Do the Shins only know such despicable tricks? Come at me if you dare. Let me in. Huang Yu, come out now. And Mu Chichi, that bastard. Little bitch." But no matter how she shouted, no one in the Shin family cared about her. In the end, no one from the Shin family came out even when her voice was hoarse. Was there any need to care about her? Absolutely not. Grandpa Shin was in his study. Because Mu Chichi had asked him to dig deeper into Rong Junhan, Grandpa Shin expanded the scope to the whole Rong family. Now he was reading the results of the investigation. No wonder Rong Junhan left in a hurry that day. She was afraid that Grandpa Shin would find out about Rong Group's tax evasion. It was her brother who was the mastermind. But her brother was a drunkard. He could not hide the truth when he was drunk. So, he was the one who found out the truth bit by bit. Good boy. Not bad. Grandpa Shin took off his glasses after reading the information. Then he called the police. Did he still need to give face to the Rong family? He did not need to. Rong Junhan did not expect that the higher-ups would send someone to investigate Rong Group's tax issue just an hour after her lover injured his hand. Then she received a call for help from her brother. Sister, you must help me. Something happened to the company. The company is fine. What could happen? Rong Junhan was anxious now. She was getting impatient. I don't know who reported us. Now we are being interrogated by the police about the tax issue. Rong Junhan was stunned when she heard the word tax. She dropped her phone. No. Rong Junhan said. Then she picked up her phone from the ground. She told her brother, stay calm. I will come over now. Sis, it's too late. I'm going to be taken back for questioning now. Rong Junhan felt as if she had been struck by lightning. Because Rong Group was her last trump card. If she lost Rong Group, she would have nothing left. Soon Rong Junhan called her lawyer. The lawyer stayed silent for a few seconds after he heard about it. Then he said, I've told you before that you can't do this kind of thing. But you didn't believe me and came to me now. What can I do? The amount of tax evasion by the Rong Group is no longer a matter of fines and compensation. You will have to go to jail. You and your brother at least 3 years, at most 7 years. Rong Junhan's legs were weak. She could only beg the lawyer. Lawyer, and please help me. This isn't a private lawsuit. I'll quit, okay? After that, the other party hung up the phone. Rong Junhan called out a few times, but there was no response. Even her lawyer could not stand it anymore. Papa Yu's hand was injured, so he would not be able to paint in a short period of time. Moreover, Yu Jing was in such a state, so the father and daughter could not help her at all. Thinking about that, Rong Junhan's heart sank. No, she should ask her friends for help. Maybe they could still be saved. But who would be willing to help them now? Were their friends stupid? Soon Mu Chichi knew about what happened to the Rong family. Of course, she clapped her hands and cheered. Rong Junhan had framed the Shin family. Now she was the one who was humiliated by the Shin family. But it was not the Shin family's fault. It was Rong Junhan's own fault, wasn't it? Mu Chichi followed Grandpa Shin's order to go to the Shin family for dinner. But she wanted to know who was the culprit this time. Grandpa Shin sneered while he was eating. Didn't you ask me to dig deeper? Then I found out the truth. Then I made a phone call to report the culprit. Mu Chichi laughed and gave Grandpa Shin a thumbs up. Grandpa, you're so good at it. Mph. Grandpa Shin snorted. Then he thought of something and said to Mu Chichi, don't go to class next Saturday. Accompany me to a birthday party and visit an old comrade. Father, Roy is coming home soon. Let her go with you. Third aunt said to Grandpa Shin immediately. Although Chi-Chi's family background is not low, the birthday party you are going to will be attended by guests with powerful backgrounds. I'm afraid that she won't know how to deal with them if they ask about her background. Third aunt looked like she was kind enough to prevent Mu Chi-Chi from being embarrassed. But, in fact, she wanted to remind Grandpa Shin that he had another granddaughter. He should not be biased. Grandpa Shin finished his soup and looked at third aunt. He was suspicious. Are you afraid that I can't take good care of Chi-Chi? Or are you mocking Chi-Chi for not being presentable? Father, I don't mean that. Roy is my granddaughter. You don't need to remind her. Even if she comes back, the Shin family will still be her home. But this will not affect my decision to bring Chi-Chi to the birthday party. Grandpa Shin was obviously unhappy. Actually, Mu Chi-Chi did not really want to go to the birthday party. She preferred to stay at home with her aunt and Xing Xiao. It's decided then. Xiao Qi will go with me on Saturday. I'll introduce you to the boy from the Lin family. If you can date him, Grandpa Shin will be very happy. Grandpa Shin actually had such an intention. So Mu Chi-Chi immediately said with a sad face, Grandpa, I'm still young. I'm just a freshman. You can get to know each other and date him for 3 to 4 years. Then you can get married, right? Otherwise you'll become an old lady like your aunt. Mu Chi-Chi felt helpless. She did not know if Grandpa Shin was being conservative or old-fashioned. Mu Chi-Chi had Xing Xiao. Of course she did not need other resources. But third aunt was very jealous of her. Shin Rui was older than Mu Chi-Chi. It was because the second and third sons of the Shin family got married earlier than Shin Jianchuan. So their children should be older. Why did Grandpa Shin not introduce the young master of the Lin family to Rui? Instead, he introduced Mu Chi-Chi, who was not even 19 years old? Wasn't he being biased? Huang Yu and Shin Jinyun did not think that way, but third daughter-in-law was very unhappy about it. Speaking of appearance, talent and family background, Shin Rui was not as good as Mu Chi-Chi. Grandpa Shin could really do it. But Mu Chi-Chi could see that third aunt was unhappy. So she said, why don't I talk to Grandpa? I don't need your fake kindness. Chapter 195. Although she did not want to go, she did not want third aunt to take advantage of her. So, after third aunt left, Mu Chi-Chi said to Huang Yu, why don't I ask Grandpa to bring your daughter instead? She is only 17. Why would she need it? Huang Yu smiled. But Xiao Qi, tell me the truth. Do you already have someone you like? Mu Chi-Chi was stunned. She did not answer. If the Shen family knew that she had such a relationship with Xing Xiao, would they feel that it was a disgrace to the family? Would they chase her out immediately? You can say that. Mu Chi-Chi answered mysteriously. But you can't ask me who it is. When I grow up, I will pursue it myself. You are so young. Huang Yu did not continue asking. Of course she would not think about Xing Xiao. Although they had some history, the crown prince of Huang Yao was not someone that a little girl like Mu Chi-Chi could win over. So Mu Chi-Chi managed to escape. When she got home, Xing Xiao was already at home. He was wearing a black shirt and sitting in the living room. He was reading the documents with all his attention. But he did not ignore the little figure that walked in. You're back? Mu Chi-Chi was mesmerized by his serious look, especially when he was wearing a black shirt. That kind of abstinence made people not dare to get close to him, but they could not help but look at him a few more times. It was really fascinating. But Mu Chi-Chi remembered what Grandpa Shin said today. So she walked up to Xing Xiao and took the documents from his hands. Then she straddled him and said, Grandpa is bringing me to some birthday party. And what? Xing Xiao asked her dangerously. And he said that he is going to introduce a boyfriend to me. Mu Chi-Chi lowered her head and drew circles in the air with her index finger. You want to go? Xing Xiao lifted her chin and asked. Are you tired of living? Xing Xiao carried her from the sofa and pinned her against the wall. He punished her harshly. Have you forgotten who your man is? How can I forget? Mu Chi-Chi quickly explained. Xiao Xiao, I have worked so hard to get you. How can I go and see someone else? Did you chase me? Xing Xiao snorted coldly. I was the one who protected and spoiled you. You still dare to go on a blind date? I'm catching up. I've had a crush on you for so long. Can't you feel how deep my feelings for you are? This time Xing Xiao found it interesting. How deep? How am I supposed to express my gratitude? You only know how to bully me. At that, Xing Xiao picked her up and put her on the big bed in the bedroom. He had thought that there would be a round of kisses, but he simply flipped her over, lifted her skirt and gave her a few tight slaps on her buttocks. Muchichi was in so much pain that she was in tears. "You bully me." Xing Xiao knew that she was in pain, so he helped her massage it again. "I'll teach you a lesson. How do you know I have no memory?" "I remember it. I remember it even if I have to go to the ends of the earth. My man is Xing Xiao. He's an arrogant demon, but he's also a meticulous man. He loves to tease me the most, but I find him very charming." At her words, Xing Xiao leaned over and kissed her red buttocks. Muchichi blushed and quickly covered her mouth. "I haven't showered yet. Which part of your body have I not kissed?" Xing Xiao said in disdain. Then he carried Muchichi into the bedroom and put her in the bathtub. "You can go to the birthday banquet, but I know what I'm doing." Muchichi quickly raised her hand and swore. "I just want to get to know more people, but I won't look at another man." Xing Xiao snorted. He was satisfied. It was not because he was being generous, but because the Sheng family was also on the invitation list. Before this, he had thought that this kind of occasion was boring. It seemed that he would have to snatch the invitation from Sixth Brother's hands. "By the way, Xiao Xiao, shouldn't we send a gift to Aunt Zipei now that she is getting married?" Xing Xiao nodded when he heard the word, "we." His gaze softened. Because Muchichi saw the two of them as a whole. To Muchichi he was the head of the family and her husband. And to Su Zipei he was her niece's son-in-law. "What is Aunt Zipei like?" "Aunt Zipei has everything. She just wants us to be happy," Muchichi said as she lay on the bathtub. "Then let's give her a peace of mind. I'll leave it to you." Muchichi grabbed Xing Xiao's hand and rested her head on the back of his hand. Soon she fell asleep. Xing Xiao helped his little one with her bath and went to the study to ask Jing Yun to prepare a gift. It did not need to be expensive, but it was a sincere blessing. He believed that Su Zipei would like it. Then he looked at Muchichi, who was sleeping soundly on the bed. But Xing Xiao was not in a hurry to sleep. It was because Grandpa Shen was too unreliable this time. He was only 19 years old. How could this old man be so eager to find a grandson-in-law? If Grandpa Shen scared him like this, he should not blame him for giving Grandpa Shen a headache. It was already late at night. But Rong Junhan had asked most of her relatives and friends to save her brother. But none of them would help her. Rong Junhan was very anxious. But she did not stop until she reached her sister-in-law's house. "My daughter has divorced your brother. How dare you come here? You deserve what happened to the Rong family." She sneered at her. "I really want to set off firecrackers. What did the Rong family say when your brother humiliated my daughter? Now it's karma." Rong Junhan knew it would be like this. But she did not have the time and energy to quarrel with them. She could only walk out of the house. "This family doesn't even change the lights in the stairwell. I'm afraid they are too poor to save my brother," Rong Junhan said angrily. Then she turned on the flashlight on her phone. But she was pushed by someone from behind. She screamed and rolled down the stairs. She would not be so lucky this time. She could be forgiven if she did not do so many bad things in the past. If she had not done so many bad things in the past, she would not have to pay for it like this today. Soon Yu Jing received the news that Rong Junhan was injured. Her father had just come in and Rong Junhan had many fractures in her body. Yu Jing could not hold it anymore. She broke down and cried. Muchichi felt that she could not accept the news. The Rong family was investigated yesterday. Today, Rong Junhan was admitted to the hospital with fractures. Would she be sent to jail tomorrow? Was Rong Junhan really unlucky, or she felt that her father would not be so fast? Maybe Rong Junhan was really unlucky. On the other hand, Yu Jing did not know what to do. The only person she could think of was Shen Lin. Chapter 196. But she did not have Shen Lin's contact number now. So she could only beg the Shen family for help. Especially when she heard that her uncle was arrested. Now she saw Rong Junhan lying on the bed. She was at a loss. She just wanted to rely on someone else. At this moment, who else would be willing to give her support? Of course it was Shen Lin. Yu Jing took a taxi and went to the Shen family. But she was not allowed to enter the house. She cried and threw a tantrum. The guards at the door did not dare to touch her. So they could only inform Grandpa Shen. But Grandpa Shen did not care about this. He asked Huang Yu to settle the debt she owed. Huang Yu looked at her son. Although Shen Lin did not say anything, she knew that he wanted to end things with Yu Jing once and for all. Shen Lin was humiliated and trampled on like that. Even Muchichi hoped that he could muster up his courage and say no to this woman. How could he let his parents and family down? So Shinlin still told Huang Yu after she hesitated. Mother, let me go. Can you really handle it? Huang Yu was afraid that her son would be soft-hearted. Shinlin did not hide his emotions. But he insisted. Just let me go. I want to know the truth. I understand what you mean. Go ahead. Huang Yu nodded. Shinlin could guess why Yu Jing came to him. Now the Rong family was declining. Her parents and uncle were in trouble. She needed someone to rely on. This woman always relied on others to live. She did not want to take responsibility. She was like a parasite. Shinlin walked to the door of the Shin family. He saw Yu Jing squatting on the ground. But there was no joy in his eyes. There was only hatred and anger. When Yu Jing saw Shinlin, she immediately went forward and hugged his legs. She said, Shinlin, you finally came out to see me. I knew that you would come out. You did not want to leave me behind. Shinlin did not move. He let Yu Jing hug him. He felt that it was ironic when he thought of how Yu Jing humiliated him that day. I remember clearly that day. You said that I did not achieve anything. I have no skills. I only know how to ask my parents for money. I only said those words out of anger. But I think you're right. Shinlin sneered. How can a lowly man like me be worthy of you kneeling down on your noble knees and begging me for mercy? As Shinlin spoke, he pinched Yu Jing's chin and said, Don't you want your dignity anymore? Do you have any sense of shame? Do you know how to write the word cheap? Shinlin, for the past few days I've been wondering why a useless man like me would fall for you. Now I finally understand. It's because you don't have any skills and your skills in bed are like a dead fish. Not only do you ask your parents for money, but you also cheat other men of their money. What right do you have to look down on me? Yu Jing was in tears. Her chin was pinched and she could not say a word. Look, your uncle is down and your parents are injured, but didn't you still come to find me? You said I'm cheap, but are you even more cheap than me? Shinlin, don't you love me anymore? Love? Shinlin sneered and looked up at the sky. Then he answered Yu Jing, Didn't you destroy my little love? Compared to your humiliation, my little love is nothing. Do you really think you're a beauty? Do you really think I can't live without you? Yu Jing looked carefully. My Shin family is powerful and influential. Do you think I, Shinlin, lack women? Yes, I was lied to by you before, but I can get a divorce. After the divorce, there will still be people who like me because I will become better and better. But what about you? You're going to sink into the mud, and then fall into hell. Why do I still like you like this? After hearing what Shinlin said, Yu Jing quickly confessed to him, I'll change. I won't say those cheap words anymore. I'll really change. Believe me. Thinking about the woman in front of him and thinking about his past, Shinlin only felt that everything was so ridiculous and worthless. What he sacrificed everything for was actually such a thing. Finally, he felt relieved and got rid of Yu Jing. I don't want to see you again. Don't ever let me see you again. Shinlin, get lost. This time Shinlin was very determined. What true love. What faithful love. In front of money it seemed so fragile. Yu Jing was still shouting behind him. But Shinlin could not hear her anymore. It was really not worth it to be dragged into hell by such a person. Huang Yu saw her son coming back as she wished. She also knew that Yu Jing was still crying outside. Since her son had made a decision, she was relieved. Join the army next spring. Try to be a man of indomitable spirit. Don't let your grandfather down again. Shinlin held Huang Yu's hand and nodded. Don't worry, Mom. It's enough to be silly once. I won't be silly again. Chi-Chi is your sister. She deserves your protection. Repay her in the future. I will. Once something was kept in a man's heart, it would be a promise for a lifetime. Mu Chi-Chi protected his parents and exposed his fake marriage. He would certainly remember her kindness for the rest of his life. In the future, if someone in the Shin family bullied Mu Chi-Chi, he would be the first one to speak up for her. Your eldest cousin is coming back. Look at third brother. I don't think he likes Mu Chi-Chi very much. Help him to keep an eye on her. Okay. Go back to your room. Huang Yu patted her son's shoulder and reminded him to rest. As for Yu Jing, who was outside the door, she would just let her fend for herself. Speaking of Shinlin's eldest cousin, Shinrui, she was very studious. She had completed all the courses in the university at a young age. Now she was a postgraduate student. She was widely acknowledged as a talented girl. Grandpa Shin had no reason to dislike such a granddaughter. But deep down he loved Mu Chi-Chi more. It was because Shinrui grew up in a honeypot. But Mu Chi-Chi was not. Because Grandpa Shin liked Mu Chi-Chi more, third sister was so anxious. She urged her daughter to go home. She had already found the handsome young man in the Lin family for her daughter. She could not let Muqiqi have it. But Shinroi did not agree. Mom, I will definitely go home tomorrow. But, can you not make a match for me? I don't like that kind of handsome young man. Then who do you like? I don't want to talk to you anymore. Shinroi could not communicate with her mother at all. Oh yeah, the new cousin is called Muqiqi, right? What is she like? I will bring some back for her. It's none of your business what she likes. I'm warning you. Don't have too much contact with her. Chapter 197. But Shinroi did not think so. She had to get close to Muqiqi, because Muqiqi was related to the Sheng family. So, she went to a luxury shop in France and bought some toys for Muqiqi despite her mother's objection. She wanted to give them to Muqiqi as a gift. Muqiqi knew that her cousin was coming back. So she asked Xing Xiao about her. But Xing Xiao only answered her, I don't know her. Shinroi had a lot of experience in school. She was talented and well-educated. She was not like third aunt's daughter at all. But she was just normal. She did not have any personality at all. Moreover, Xing Xiao rarely paid attention to the girls in the Shin family except for Muqiqi. He spent more time with the men. Muqiqi nodded after getting the answer. All right. I'll have to find out more about her myself. I hope that she is really different from third aunt. When Shinroi reached home, it was already night time in Jianshuan. The first thing she did was to kiss Grandpa Shin. Grandpa, I'm back. Grandpa Shin was happy to see his granddaughter. You're getting more and more beautiful. That's right. Even I haven't seen you in almost half a year. Huang Yu reached out and pulled her daughter into a hug. Shinroi greeted everyone in the family. But she did not see Muqiqi. Didn't you say that there's a new member in the family? She's still on the way, said Grandpa Shin. But third aunt's expression changed. She did not like her daughter to have too much interaction with Muqiqi. So, she whispered to Shinroi, didn't I tell you not to mind other people's business? Shinroi would not listen to her. After a while she started chatting with Shinlin. Soon, Muqiqi appeared at the entrance of the Shin family. She came here with the intention to meet this talented lady. She heard that Shinroi was a talented lady. She entered the living room and saw a tall girl with a confident smile. Muqiqi had a good first impression of her. She was tall and had an oval face. She had long hair and was dressed in an exotic way. She must have good taste. Shinroi took out a gift when she saw Muqiqi. She walked toward her and said, this is for you. Welcome. Roy. Third aunt was furious. Muqiqi looked at the gift box in her hand. It was a famous watch. She immediately replied, this is too expensive. We're sisters, there's no need to be so polite. Shinroi was very friendly. She was confident and generous. She really had the demeanor of the Shin family's young lady. It was no wonder that third aunt was jealous of Grandpa Shin's love for her. She really hoped that Grandpa Shin would pay more attention to such an outstanding daughter. It's time to eat. Let's talk while we eat. Shinroi held Muqiqi's hand and sat down at the dining table. She accidentally noticed the tattoo on Muqiqi's earlobe. She was surprised. Is this Uncle Sheng Jiaxiao's English name? You know about it? Muqiqi was surprised because Xiao Xiao said that very few people knew about his name. I saw him sign it when I went to the Sheng family a few years ago. Why did you tattoo it on your ear? Fortunately, she had explained about the tattoo before. Otherwise, she would not be able to hide it anymore if she was exposed. She admires her savior. Grandpa Shin explained for Muqiqi. But Xing Xiao deserves to be her idol. It's fate. Shinroi smiled. She took the red wine and toasted Muqiqi. It's our first time meeting. I hope that we can take care of each other in the future. Muqiqi did not know why. Although Shinroi had explained it to her, she still felt that something was not right. A woman's intuition was very accurate sometimes. So, even though Shinroi was so friendly to her, she was still cautious. She was not the old Muqiqi who only knew how to look at a person's appearance. So, although she seemed to agree with Shinroi on the surface, she was still suspicious of her cousin. Roy, Grandpa Lin is going to celebrate his 70th birthday soon. But he doesn't want to bring you along. Third aunt took the opportunity to stir up trouble. I was thinking that since you like Chi Chi so much, why don't you two go? Then you can take care of her. I was thinking that you're a talented girl in the literature department. You're also considerate. If Chi Chi makes any mistakes, you can make up for it. You're even comparing this. Huang Yu smiled. Chi Chi is a genius in science. Don't you know how many marks she got into Xingting University? It's because Chi-Chi is a science student. She doesn't have a high EQ. That's why I asked Roy to help her. Isn't it for the good of the Shin family? Chi-Chi has a high EQ. It's not a problem. Huang Yu refuted. All right. You have to quarrel over such a small matter. Roy, let's go together. Grandpa Shin decided that since his granddaughter was back, it was reasonable for her to meet the elders. But he never thought that Mu Chi-Chi needed someone to take care of her. He knew that this sly girl was weird and cunning. That's more like it. Third aunt felt better. Adults are always so boring. Shin Ruoi did not show that she wanted to go. But she did not say that she would not go either. Mu Chi-Chi could not tell which side she was on at the moment, but she had a feeling that her cousin was not as simple as she looked. So soon Mu Chi-Chi found an excuse to go home to accompany her aunt. Then she left the Shin family and went back to her new home. When she saw Xing Xiao, she climbed onto his lap and asked, "Does Shin Ruoi know that it's your English name?" Xing Xiao looked at her angry face. Then he pointed at the tattoo on his collarbone and asked her, "Does Shin Ruoi know that it's your English name?" "Xiao Xiao, let me be honest with you. I don't like Shin Ruoi. I don't know why, but I feel that she is being nice to me. She has a purpose. You see, she gave me a lot of gifts when we first met. But when the others in the Shin family knew about my existence, they all frowned at me. Since you don't like it, you should give her something of the same value. Consider it as a return gift. Then you won't feel uneasy and feel that you owe her a favor. My little one, do you still lack these things?" Mu Chi-Chi thought about it and felt that it was reasonable. These powerful families are so complicated. You grew up in the Mu family. You should be familiar with these things. Aren't you used to it? Xing Xiao hugged her and comforted her. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.